Yo, what's the deal? Welcome to the No Pick Show. I got my dog with me, A. Davis, in the building. How you feeling today, brother?
I'm good, dog. I'm good, dog. What's good, people? I'm on a
Well,
2-for-1 today. You heard me? I'm pulling the two a day
woo!
right now.
Man, make
For
sure y'all
sure.
check them out at Pales in the Blender. Dog, we made it. We made it to the end of the season, bro. We
Yeah,
made it to
boy.
the end of
Like,
the season. I had
listen,
my
man.
doubts. I didn't know if I was. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to make it. But I've been through worse with this team, and we made it to the end
Ooh,
of the season, man. I had a lot of fun covering this team this season, surprisingly. How about yourself, bro?
I did as well. First off, let me say shout out to you
Whoa.
for boy the work you've been putting in with the live streams and then the post game and pre game and then all of the little shit in between, bro. Like shout out to you for all of the work you put in. You know what I mean? Everybody that supports you. And also I appreciate you. I was saying this on my episode too, man. I appreciate you, all of the dudes from Buku too, with you for sure. As far as like when I first got started, you know what I mean? Y'all didn't have to come on the show at all. I ain't have the support, and y'all did, man. So, like, big up to you always. You're for showing love. I appreciate it, bro.
Man, I appreciate you as well, brother. I appreciate the collaborations we've been doing. Today been it's been an interesting day because shout out to everybody in
Yes,
the chat as y'all join in. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. P File, Brandon
for
in the building,
sure.
RJ, Yaya, Louisiana, Gal, my dog, everybody in the building. Much love to
For
y'all.
sure.
If
For
y'all can
sure.
share the live, that'd be great. Also, man, I hope all y'all doing well. The pain is over. Hopefully, Borrego can't hurt us anymore. But let's start right there. Let's start right there. So a lot of articles have been coming out, and we've been talking about some of these things for a while now. But I've been talking about Jamal Mosley since the end of 2025, bro. So a lot of things have come out, and some of the information isn't new. What was your takeaway today from Borrego's post game? I'm sorry, not post game, from his season exit presser, and some of the news that followed. Even though the news wasn't necessarily new, the news would be more so like him, I guess, being in contention with the
Mm-hmm.
Pelicans doing a deep dive audit and interview process for a new coach. What would be your takeaway from that news?
My biggest thing from the like when you listen to Joe speak, not Joe, I'm sorry. When you listen to Borrego speak, Borrego is talking as if, he got the job secured, which the reports come in and kind of clarifies like, no, there's nothing imminent. You know what I mean? There's nothing imminent. And even when they do like the interviews with everybody else, it's just kind of like, we don't know what the front office is gonna do. So that, and then the reports come out about them having a big interview process, and they constantly keep mentioning the same names that y'all been mentioning, that you've been mentioning for that Kevin Ollie, Jamal Mosley, which you have been talking about for a while, Darvin Ham. Um, and that's really the only names that they consistently mention. I'm interested to see what other names are going to come out. The more like after Joe does his interview tomorrow, I don't think Troy is going to speak. But like once that is done, I'll be interested to see if they start releasing more names for like the interview process, and if certain names start hitting the list of like people to interview, if it makes the Borrego like end of season interview seem a little different. You know what I mean? Like, because he was talking in an interview like, I got a plan and yada yada yada. So I'm just wondering is if when the list drop, if this is the list, okay, that's one thing. If they start adding some more names to come out that say like, the San Francisco's and maybe Stackhouse or whoever else, I'm not sure who, but whoever else, if they add other names to this list, if it's gonna make people just kind of like, okay, this motherfucker really ain't got no chance.
I think so far a couple of names we have heard, Mike Malone being one of them, and I think just the idea that there is a link, because that's a far fetched connection to make when you consider like the
Mm-hmm.
Pelicans and their spending practices historically and the rumors about their spending practices. So far, that's a kind of a far connection to make. It's a bit of a reach, but the fact that the connection was mentioned, it lets you know that there's some smoke there, even if the likelihood was low. Now, Borrego's a guy who has been with the organization for some time now. I think shout out to Louisiana gal. She said her biggest worry about the coaching search is with Gail. You know, she loves Borrego. My dog Don Guillory, he speaks about Borrego most likely being gone, but then it's Lauscher having some interest in him.
The relationship thing is a real thing, man. Like, I'm sorry not to cut you off, but like when people talk about, for example, people have been talking about maybe Kevin Ollie or Darvin Ham getting this job and is like, you know, considering relationships. It's like, well, Borrego has relationships established as well, which may give him, I don't want to say a leg up, but you saw, for example, Elvin Gentry keep this job when they didn't want to keep him because of relationships. So we'll see who went out in the end.
I think Joe's going to win out in the end. And the reason I think he's going to win out in the end is because, for one, results matter. Not getting a playoff gate matters. Also, take into account is like, well, this unit doesn't have 2 or 3 years to just fuck around. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to start winning. You got to start winning immediately. Also, taking into account, I'm sure Gail loved Willie Green more than she loved Borrego. And Borrego and Willie Green no longer with us. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure she loved Dennis Allen at some point. You know, I think ultimately the fact that it's like, no, you don't understand. I need to do things my way. And I think Joe will win out in the end with that message. As far as Borrego, I'm kind of like, you know, Borrego is not an A-lister as far as like media notoriety. So he's not going to really, I don't think he would be the one to come out and really just put his nuts on the table. But I'm going to, you know, whatever happens, wherever I go, I'm going to be the man. Like, I think he's just going to go with the flow, kind of like, yeah, you know, I've been here for a while. I expect to continue to be here, maybe in some capacity. For me, I don't know realistically.
Whenever you go to the video and you hear Borrego talking about essentially me and Joe kind of in lockstep type shit. It's
one of the quotes I saw was when we spoke more about corrections that needed to be made this season versus the future.
Yes.
So I'm like, y'all didn't talk about the future, and we're gonna have a coaching search where you can come put your resume in as well. Now, behind the scenes, I know Borrego as being a little snakish, a little snakish as far as like he manipulative. Yeah, a little manipulative. You know, he politics quite a bit. But I am of the mind that if he really had a head coach offer somewhere, he probably would take it. Now, I don't know that he ever had a real head coach offer somewhere as far as like Detroit and Milwaukee. I don't believe those things ever happened. I think like Cleveland, I think that was all, damn sure not the Lakers. I think that was all like his agency doing a lot of heavy lifting.
Getting him an interview.
Yeah, I think they were just doing a lot of heavy lifting in that capacity. Even with the names mentioned, those like, and some of those connections were listed immediately after Willie Green was fired, right? And I do think some of that are educated guesses based on the history. Like, I think with Darvin Ham and his history winning the championship with Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver, his connections has kept to Kevin Ollie and wanting Kevin Ollie instead of Monty Williams in Detroit. I think that's more of just like low-hanging fruit, because the Malone thing kind of came out of nowhere, and some of the connections I've heard seemingly have come out of nowhere as well. Like, it makes sense for us, that archetype of coach, that mold, but the connections also seem to kind of come out of nowhere. Like, what made y'all think y'all could get Malone? Y'all really interested in Malone? Like, something like that.
Another thought that I had, because I'm not sure, like Kevin Ollie clearly has never been a head coach in the NBA.
He was the interim.
Yeah, but I wonder if they're considering those guys for like maybe not Darvin, you know what I mean? But like, I wonder if they're considering other than Jamal Mosley. Like, say you bring in Jamal Mosley, maybe you considering them guys for like Jamal Mosley's staff.
That's what I mean? Yeah, that's something I kind of like was trying to emphasize as well. Like, that don't mean that they like necessarily want those guys for the head coaching vacancies. They might just want to bring them into the NBA and have them on the bench. Again, Kevin Ollie was an assistant with the Nets, if I'm not mistaken, when Jacques Vaughn was there. I think it was Jacques Vaughn. He ultimately became the interim. Darvin Ham is a beloved assistant coach head coach with the Lakers, and he made it to the Western Conference Finals, but his record as a head coach is a little questionable.
If you bring Darvin Ham in as an assistant like that, a lot of people feel completely different about Darvin as an assistant as opposed to maybe being your head guy. So, I mean, and again, if they out here giving these dudes like, why wouldn't you want to give those guys an opportunity to at least interview?
Right,
right. So I get that too.
I think too. Also, I think the fact that you didn't already christen Borrego the incumbent head coach, I think that gives you time because you got a lot of data at this point. 70 games is a lot of data as to, okay, I don't want X, Y, and Z. I don't want this. This is what I did, like, et cetera, et cetera. But to me, if you don't, propose to your wife and say, "All right, babe, I'm proposed to you, but I'm gonna keep, dating." Like, what I'm saying? I'm gonna propose to you, but I'm gonna keep dating around. Like, I hate when people mention Tiny Dog just because Tiny Dog not with the team no more. They're like, what? How many games the team won last year? Was it 21?
21. And he missed a lot of the season last year too.
Basketball.
He missed a lot of the season, yeah. And then
shout out to my dog basketball. He always respectful. Basketball. Brandon was on the team last year that won 21 games, bro. Like, he was here. Like, we got the data. He was here. But that to move on, like, to the coaching, like, to continue the coaching search. Personally, the name Sam Cassell's come up a lot in the chat. Sam Cassell, Stackhouse, like you mentioned before. Rondo, I think Rondo is a little too fresh of a head coach, but it wouldn't shock me if they just totally went left.
I wouldn't be surprised, man.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised.
JJ never coached a day in his life, and he got the head coaching job. So what do you make of, like, those names, the Sam Cassells, the Stackhouses, and the potentially the Rajon Rondos?
What's interesting, and like we've talked about a lot of those names, but this is the part that I think would be interesting. I think people would give hiring the random I never coached before at all, like, more like Darvin Ham has a legitimate resume, right?
Assistant and head coach,
legitimate resume. If we hired Rondo with zero experience, people would probably be like, "Fucking right, man. We got Rondo. We gave Rondo.
We didn't get a retread. We didn't get
a You get what I'm saying? So, like, as far as like someone like Sam Cassell is a better, well, I can't say better because you don't know until somebody get the job. But like Sam Cassell seems like a
good
more, So Sam Cassell seems like a more prominent candidate or something like that. So, like, I would be okay with any name. I'm gonna say this, and if Borrego somehow managed to get this job, if somehow he manages to get this job, I'm only on board if they fire the whole staff.
Yeah, like, for me as well, I would have no choice but to
hope he does well.
Yeah, just to hope he does well. But I'm like, you gotta move on from this staff. I'm talking about Collins, Meeks, what's his name? Monroe, McGuire, what's his name? Brewer.
Listen, it's not to say that some of them, like Greg, might have made some strides with the big, in some capacity. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, whoever's developing Fish right now is probably doing a really good job with Fish to a degree. So it's just kind of like, man, if even they gotta go, fuck it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, to me,
somebody doing a good job, but it's just, I don't think it matters.
Let me ask you this: who do you credit with Fizz's shot progression this year? Because I know people talk about, like, Fred Vinson leaving, right? But I don't think people, like, because people don't really know about developmental coaches and stuff like that. But there's several developmental coaches in that regard that have been with the team while Fred Vinson was here. Again, it's still the same staff. That's why even the assistant GM, because we're gonna move on to some of the players and some of the executives in a minute. Even the assistant GM he's been inherited like from David Griffin. So like, what do you make of Fierce's shot progression? Like this year, I believe he shot 33% from three. That's better than any of us anticipated on nearly 4 attempts. What do you make of his progression?
I give all the credit to Fierce to a degree.
Yeah,
I give it all the Fierce to a degree because Herb still ain't shooting well. So whoever was doing that development ain't been developing Herb jumper. Like, Jordan Hawkins still can't shoot. So like, I don't know. So I'm gonna just say Fierce has been consistently working, and maybe what it is whatever instruction that they given, maybe he's actually applying the instruction. Everybody talk about him as see, look, Fierce should get the credit. Like he really, all of the word about him is he really be putting the work in at the end of the day. So I'm just gonna give him credit for his own success. I think that dude, he watched film, he fucking studying, he doing everything he can.
And
probably credit Mike Miller. Shout out to Mike Miller.
Oh yeah, Mike Miller, another guy who's sniper. Shout out to his agent, Mike Miller. I think Fierce might be the crown jewel in Mike Miller's agency right now.
I think he is,
especially with the rookie year he's had. So
yeah,
we got to talk about. I want to clear something up with Troy Weaver, right? Because, and just being totally honest, I think people don't read. And that's one of the worst things that have happened to us as a society, that motherfuckers just don't read no more. And, I think people misconstrue that Troy Weaver is not the Pelicans general manager. He's not. Troy Weaver is essentially what Swing Cash was, right? I don't really remember Swing Cash doing a ton of exit interviews. So, like, Troy Weaver is not the general manager. He may have some general manager duties now that Trajan is gone, but I've heard conflicting things. I've heard that Joe is more of a general manager. I've heard Troy has had some general manager duties. I've heard the assistant GM has some general manager duties. I've heard that Troy was more so of a scout. I've heard several things. But what I do know is that he not the motherfucking general manager. And I wanted to point to this article right here. Can you see this app?
Yeah, I can see it. Thank God I got these good glasses. You heard me.
Hold on. Let me see if I can.
No, you're good. I blew it up. I'm good.
I'm gonna read this article real quick. It said the New Orleans Pelicans have hired Troy Weaver as their senior vice president of basketball operations. Weaver will report to the Pelicans' executive vice president of basketball operations, Joe Dumars, who had an introductory news conference in New Orleans on Tuesday. Weaver is departing the Washington Wizards, having served as a consultant with them. He's the senior vice president of basketball operations. He's not the motherfucking general manager. In fact, it wouldn't shock me if they went on to hire a general manager, because like I mentioned before, the general manager that they now have, the assistant general manager that they now have, who I would have to imagine had conduct some general manager duties, because he inherited a lot of the staff from Bryce and Trajan. And Bryce was only there for about a half a year, but Bryce and Trajan, etc. Like, he's not the general manager. I think they still have to fill out this front office staff. I just think the expectations are a little bit bizarre. I think part of it's because people don't read or do the due diligence.
I think a clear thing. I think, again, going back to what I thought when Joe sat down at his introductory press conference was, this whole season was a let me see what's going on evaluation. And like, listen, not the only, but the real crime was they've been trying to get their own people in to the detriment. Like, Poole was one of their people that they brought in. They made that happen. Sadiq Bey, one of their people, and they loved Derek Queen to the point where they was like, listen, we'll do whatever we got to do to get DQ.
Mm-hmm.
But also they love Fierce, and they, you know what I mean? They took that guy too. So like, they just went through the process of getting in their people, and maybe they are not done, flushing out the rest of, because bro, when you really start over, like, maybe the executive they want wasn't available at the time. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe whoever they wanted really making some of the decisions in conjunction with them. maybe they ain't got around to that. Like, that's just one of the thoughts that I had. And like a lot of people I see in the chat was talking about Bryson, bro. This is my question. Here's a question, and you might know something better than this, because I watched some stuff throughout the league, but was Griff really just weird? Because Griff, if you think about it, like sitting there, like he kind of babied Bryson in his first interview. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like if you remember, he just
I remember that was an awkward interview. Yeah.
Yeah, like at least Trajan, sometimes they let Trajan speak on his own, but again, Trajan was officially the general manager. But other than that, like even when he hired Bryson, it was just kind of like petting him along and shit like that. It's like Griff probably wasn't even supposed to be speaking as much as he was speaking.
So it was such a bizarre chain of events because, again, like Griff had an extensive front office. You're talking about Swing Cash, who I've heard she didn't really do anything behind the scenes. Swing Cash, you got David Griffin, you got Bryce, who had been Bryson Graham, who had been with the organization for years. I'm talking about Bryson was like, I think he was there when they were the Hornets. Intern. Yeah, I think he was there since they were like the Hornets, bro. Like he's been with
like 20 years in.
Yeah, it was like, come on, man. Like, David Griffin again, and we had Trajan Langdon as well. I think a lot of those guys kind of escaped accountability from the standpoint of like, yo, you've been here for a long time, the team been bad. What role did you play in that? Like, again, we talk about the misses in the front office drafts, and we talk about the misses in the first round, and it's just so many picks that just didn't work out in the first round. High picks. I ain't talking about in the late teens. I'm talking about a couple top 10 picks, top 15 lottery picks that just didn't work out with the Pelicans. I have to attribute that to Bryson, Trajan, Griff. I have to attribute that to that front office that was there.
Number 8 to 13 or 14, I think.
Man, Kyra Lewis over Tyrese Maxey, Jordan Hawkins over Keontae George, like just Jackson Hayes over Garland. Like there's so many things that happened, bro, that was just like, nah, what the fuck was y'all doing?
You know what's crazy? And I know we kind of just like tangent real quick, but like Griff probably would have received more heat for the draft picks if like Herb saved a draft.
It was really one draft that like Herb and Trey Murphy.
Right. Like Herb and Trey and like Jose and Naj, like them hitting on Najee in the the undrafted pool kind of saved maybe Kyra being a bust, or like them hitting on Herb in the second round kind of saved what was happening with Jackson Hayes to a degree. Like sometimes Jose was like, you had built some credibility on the back end of the draft, but that don't mean that like that shit that you was missing on should have went like swept under the rug like that. Like I know sometimes you miss, but it was a
Dyson over J Dub. Oh, that hurt. It could have been worse, but it could have been Jeremy Sohan. But
oh my gosh, they was interested too.
Man, like the thing, like now we're gonna get to the players a bit, right? So again, you watched it, I didn't. What do you make of Zion's comments? And before you speak about it, I want to shout out his trainer, Chris, he had a comment that I found very interesting. He said, I'm appreciative of Joe for trusting me with Zion this season. Now, one thing I had heard again this offseason that Zion, who spent the time at UNO, and Joe Dumars was kind of there overseeing him, seeing his progress and working with him. Chris said they turned an injury that was supposed to be a 2-month injury timeline into a 13-day timeline, with Zion playing 35 consecutive games. He missed one and came back, so it would have been 37. He said when he got with Zion, there was no blueprint, no medical direction, no performance plan or data. Now, I don't know if he's saying that those things didn't exist, or if he's saying that they just
whatever they had was fucking, whatever they had was trash. Yeah.
Like, so I don't know which is which, but it makes sense, right? It being the Pelicans, it makes sense that it's kind of on some get it how you live shit. What did you make of Zion's comments today?
Bro, Zion to me was, I think, the most you could tell why he hadn't really been doing interviews. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? I think this season, while he had some successes from a health standpoint, I
Mhm.
think
Mailed it
I
in.
think yes, I think he knew he mailed it in, and I think he really was seeing the limitations of his game this year. Like based off what he was saying, you know what I mean? Like he shouted out his trainers and stuff like
Mhm.
that, but he was making the comments of, you know, I need to be better with the 3-level scoring. And I like he made the biggest thing was he took accountability for not being shit.
Mhm.
Like I wasn't like I just
More than good
he
this year.
said
Yeah.
he ain't want to come out and say I was trash, but he like
I
and
under delivered this year.
yeah, basically he was like, I gotta be better for the team and blah blah blah. And shout out to a lot of the comments, like it don't really matter the lip service, but if we're talking about what he actually said, like the things to me that mattered was I think I got the body right. I think I figured out the health part, right?
Okay.
And that's not to say that you ain't gonna never get hurt again. Obviously, that shit happened. But
Mhm.
I think he's comfortable with figuring that out. And now he's like, okay, my game has to elevate or we gonna suck. Like I think he felt the most human this season than any other season, and it showed. Like he wasn't able to do a lot of things, and I think I'm hoping this is one of the first times he said he will be willing to reach out to like other great players.
Mm.
I think that's something that, you know, Joe Dumars is probably, he's like, I'm gonna get with Joe and whatever Joe say, I'm gonna go do. And I'm gonna reach out to other great players. I think he's humbled himself a lot. That's kind of what I took.
What do you make of that relationship?
Bro, I think he really respect, like, you know, Joe Zion, an old soul. Like
Yeah.
Zion got that, like the respect his respect his elders, and probably just grew up admiring a person like Joe Dumars. So I personally think when they brought in Joe Dumars, it's more like that uncle, you know what I mean? I don't know how you like that OG
Right.
that you need to kind of really help steer it together. And he's just like, listen, bro, whatever you say, I'm gonna do. I think he just really got respect for who Joe is, and like again that he's done it. So if Joe say, first off, I control your money, right? Like you still here for 2 years, I control your
Right.
money. Do what I say.
Right. Like
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, what the old saying is, if the Lord don't bless you, the Undertaker gonna dress you. So you might want to play along. Like let's go over some of Zion's numbers this year. Again, you got to take into account the usage was incredibly low. The game plan was really bad as well, and this is outside of the shooting, because we've seen Zion play with no shooting before, but we've never seen this level of non-usage. But again, played 62 games, started 55 of them, which is interesting.
That's insane.
Yes.
I'm sure Herb started 100% of his games.
Probably most likely did. 29 minutes a game. I guess you take into account some of these games were at the end of the year where he just sat. Playing most of his back-to-backs also. 21 points on 13 attempts is kind of crazy.
Insane,
at 60%. like this is my first time really looking at it. Because to me, I respect volume shooters as well. Like I respect what Luka does. It's not the flopping and shit, but Jaylen Brown. I like guys who like, man, I ain't gonna be no more bullets left in this motherfucking clip, especially if they can remain somewhat efficient. But 21 points on 13 shots is kind of crazy. So 16%. He shot 71.
Wow, listen, I'm sorry, bro. He only shoots 70% from the free throw line. Like
71%, yeah, and he's only averaging 7 attempts, so it's not like he's averaging 10.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
which is some bullshit to me.
No.
Because if a motherfucker taking 13 shots a game, right, and at least 11 of them shots are drives to the rim, and he only averaging 7.5 free throw attempts a game. Like, come on, man.
One of the worst whistles in the game.
The officiating is pathetic. But if we add the free throw attempts to his shot attempts, if we divide it by, let's just call it 8 attempts, it's 7.5. Let's round up to 8 and we'll divide it by 2. That's still only 17 shots a game. Not enough. got to get at least up to 17. His like
career average is around like 16 or something like that.
It's like 15.5 after this season. And then you take into account his MVP caliber season, quote unquote. It was 17 attempts, and he finished that season completely healthy. Played 61 games. I think one quote I did see is that he wants to aim to play 82 games, which is not a real thing for star players anymore, vet players anymore.
They asked him about his from the health perspective, he was like, I think I got that like next year. I think he said he wanted to play somewhere between like 75 games to 82 games, which I don't think 82 is realistic. But for him, again, he played 70 a couple seasons ago when they had the 49 win season. He played 70 games. So like, again, if he's figured out the body portion of it and the working out and shout out to his trainer, you know what I mean? I think they've actually, and matter of fact, Trey Murphy mentioned in his interview that him and Zion had like finally hired like full-time physical therapists, like personal physical, like with their own money, like personal physical therapists and stuff like that. Yeah. So it would make sense why, because if you remember, Trey had been hurt the last couple
seasons. He been hurt this season too.
Yeah, he missed some time, but like he came back a lot sooner. Maybe they do have something going on with the staff. Zion had been playing more games. I think those dudes, as they getting older, investing more and like their bodies and stuff like that, the way that they're supposed to. And hopefully that can carry on to like next season if they're gonna be here.
That's why I also want to give a shout out to John Moran. If you're watching, dog, come on to that road, brother, because we got the homie Chris who trained in Zion. You see what he was able to kind of do for him health-wise. John, they disrespected John. They didn't have John to exit interview. They didn't have John the jersey giveaway. It looks like that marriage is all but over. John, come on home to death row. Now,
if you Zion, you making the call?
Oh, fucking right, I'm making the call. Because
that's your boy too.
Yeah, that's your partner, your homeboy from the turf. And I think for me, I think the writing's on the wall with the Dejounte thing. Like I try not to like harp on it too much, but the Dejounte thing, that marriage just didn't work out again. That's not a decision Joe Dumars made. Now, with the decisions that Joe Dumars did make, I think there is some stuff you can blame him for, especially like trading the pick. But that depends on how you feel about Derrick Queen. If you're a person who loves Derrick Queen, then whatever.
Not to cut you off. Let me ask you this real quick, because Dejounte real quick. Dejounte in his interview said, a lot of people in the media said I came back to raise my value. That was bullshit. Would it just real quick before you continue on? What do you think of him?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's what, like, verbatim. He was like, it was out in the media. I came back, to kind of get my trade value up. He was like, that's bullshit. I came back because I wanted to play for the city of New Orleans. I wanted to play for this team.
I'm gonna say this. A lie, I don't care who tell it, right? Now, I don't doubt that the man loves playing basketball. I don't doubt that he wanted to play basketball. I don't doubt that he's a professional. I don't doubt that he puts in the time and the work to be out there on the court. But what I do know is that he was away from the team the majority of the season. He got his own life to live. So he was out, in LA, out Seattle, doing this thing, living his life. And
he said him and Joe had a plan. His words, him and Joe had a plan to get healthy mentally. So him being away from the team seems like it was a part of the plan.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Fair enough. And I'll say this. He said you putting gas on the fire. I'll say this. I'm sure they did have a plan for him to get healthy and be away from the team. I'm sure they did have a plan. Now, I'm not pitting two brothers against each other, but I'm using this for comparison's sakes. Some people say Jordan Poole was a team cancer and a locker room cancer. He was never away from the team. Even when he was injured, he wasn't away from the team. And, I think
also didn't get an interview, which is kind of crazy.
Also didn't get an exit interview. also never mentioned not wanting to be with the team. Like Dejounte, the pivot interview is out there. You saying you wanted to talk to your agent about, I'm paraphrasing. You wanted to talk to your agent. You saying something got to change. I'm presuming it's the
something got to
scenery.
shake.
Something got to shake. I'm presuming it's the scenery that needed to change, right? Also, and just to keep it a cool motherfucking dollar, just to keep it 1,000. I don't think Dejounte really elevates the team like a player like Ja Morant was. I think the Wood rather. I think Dejounte is a fine player. Player, right?
He's never been on a caliber of a Ja Morant.
Yeah, I think
stage.
Yeah, I think with the the salary, the age, the injury history, the place, the game, the play style, the relationship with the front office, not necessarily the city, because you can pop all that New Orleans shit if you want. I heard what you said about the Katrina and all that shit. Like
I remember what you said.
Yeah, like brother, like let's stop it, brother. You say what you said about never wanting to come to New Orleans. It is what it is. I don't take it personal. It's business at the end of the day. So for me, from a business standpoint, it just wouldn't be wise to retain Dejounte. I don't think the steak is worth the sizzle. I don't think it's much sizzle there. And undoubtedly, he came back to boost his trade value, because otherwise there was no reason for him to come back. Like let's just keep it a motherfucking thou wow. But I root for Dejounte, man. I hope Dejounte does find somewhere he can blossom and do his thing. But I just don't think it makes sense for him to be retained.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to give you that little bit of information as we.
Nah, it's cool. It's cool. Like what's funny? I don't even watch Dejounte's interviews no more. I have to abstain, because it's just like, this dude be lying. Like bro, this nigga really be lying, son. And it's crazy. It's like
you can feel it. You can feel it.
It's like that all of this information is accessible. Like brother, it was a big ass interview you did, and it was like all that shit. Want to play for the city and just go out there and let them know that I'm not one of those guys that's just here to collect a paycheck. Like, man, get out of here. Get out of here, dog. Like, whatever.
Rich gonna get it done, though.
Yeah, Rich make it happen, Rich.
Rich gonna get it done.
Like, Rich, what are we doing, Rich? I got faith in you.
Rich about to find him the new home, though. I firmly believe that, but we could continue on beyond Dejounte.
Yeah, shout out to Dejounte though, man. I hope everything going well. I'm happy for him that he recovered from injury and came back. But I did hear there was a bit toward the end of the season. Like, for me, I think I spotted the breaking point. Because shout out to my dog, King Sam. King Sam was in the building. Because now I gotta talk about it. Because King Sam was in the building. Shout out to I'm not gonna say too much though, but King Sam was in the building for the Portland game. And Dejounte, his people were there allegedly. This is all alleged, right? This is for parody and satire purposes only.
Portland is close to Seattle.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So he was in the building, and at one point he had pointed at Borrego and was like, man, dude, trash. And the people who were there were calling for Dejounte to be put back into the game, because Dejounte, if I'm not mistaken, did not play that entire second quarter, and Fierce was on fire. Fierce was on fire. I don't know what happened in the locker room. I don't know what happened
Is the Portland game after the New York? Portland was after the New York game.
Portland was after New York. It was Portland and then Sacramento on the second night of a back-to-back. And I think that's where and Dejounte never played again. I think that's where the relationship was just like severed, personally, at least with the coaching staff.
And to back that point up, Dejounte, when they asked Dejounte about like the front office and the coaching to a degree, again, there was no true endorsement. There was no true endorsement of like
I don't know these niggas at all.
That's legitimately what he said. He was like, I ain't played a full season last year. I ain't really played a season this year. I'm trying to he basically I don't know what they're gonna do. Long story short of it, that's basically what he said.
To me, I just felt like with certain people who cover the team or certain things, like even national people, you can't pick and choose, right? You can't believe Mike Scotto when he says, whoa, what's happening with your help? Why? You can't believe Mike Scotto when he says this coach is in the running, that coach is in the running, but you don't believe him when he said the team has some interest in Ja Morant. You know what I'm saying? You can't believe Scoop
pick and choose.
You
Yes,
can't pick and
yes.
choose. You know what I'm saying? You can't pick and choose. Why the show called No Picks? You can't believe Scoop B when he says they're gonna do X, Y, and Z, but you don't want to believe the part about the Pelicans talking about Kentavious Caldwell-Pope for Jordan Poole, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Ja Morant for Jordan Poole and Dejounte Murray. I mean, come on. Like it gets to a certain point where what's real is real. You know what I'm saying? What's real is real.
Yep.
You can't pick and choose. Like if you believe what they say, you gotta take everything at their word or take it all with a grain of salt. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. The reports are what the reports are. At some point, it could be that some of the stuff that they're receiving is true.
Kel'el.
He's not going to be in New Orleans next season. No, absolutely not. But when people make reports about what's going on, part of it can be true, and then something may not work out. Like example being, they could have interest in Ja, and then somebody could have said, "Listen, push that shit back to we don't want Ja right now. Push that shit back to the off season. We'll make something happen in the off season when we got like some more clarity, or like the books clear up, or this is a legitimate expire. You know what I mean? Maybe, or we can expand the trade. Who knows what the circumstances was, where they probably were just like, hey, let's put this on the back burner for right now.
And people play word games, bro. Niggas say, well, they had no communication. And then you'd be like, well, they reached out, but it wasn't that serious. Well, they talked, but you know, they wanted this. And like, which one is it, cuz? Like, you know what I'm saying?
First off, you told me they ain't called.
First of all, you told me you ain't even know the nigga. You ain't even know this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Not all of a sudden, you know, people play.
I mean, I did see him in the street. We dapped off, but you know.
Bruh, like I can say this matter of factly. When you talk to people behind the scenes who work with these teams, or who at least, I'm gonna say work with the teams, right? Whether they be front office people, trainers, what have you. When you talk to people behind the scenes, almost everyone has some type of agenda, some type of narrative, or they have their perspective. Not saying that what they saying ain't true, but it's their perspective. And you got to zoom out and be able to filter certain things. There's people who told me things who've never been wrong. Everything they've said come to fruition. And there's people who told me things that, like, in hindsight, I'm like, oh,
it makes sense.
I see why you was playing, like, you know,
the comment, Kel'el comment, like,
which part? The last one,
all of it.
Right.
Dejounte really didn't try to hide the fact that he doesn't see himself new. Like, bruh, he was saying, like, you know, I want to be a part of this team, but at the same time, he was saying, I'm not gonna be a part of this team moving forward. I don't know what's going on. That's how I took it.
Like, my thing is, like, look, guys, I mean, nobody tripping over you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want what's best for all parties involved, because I don't want to make it seem like I dislike the guy, because I don't know the motherfucker at all. I didn't like that Katrina comment, though. I'm gonna keep it a cool dollar with you. You know what I'm saying? Right. But that aside, it just didn't work out. Sometimes deals don't work out, and you got to move on. I do think there's teams like Houston and other teams that would have some interest in Dejounte, especially with his, or like Sacramento, because they almost at a point where it's gonna be hard for
Russ.
It's gonna be hard for them to find like multiple takers for those big contracts, and you almost got to like kick the can another year and get multiple guys back for Levine or for Sabonis. But like for some of the talking points, like some of the other people. Like what do you make? What do you again? We got the Dejounte comments. You got no Poole at the exit interview. Sadiq Bey had an awesome season. What do you think their steps are this offseason to improve this team?
To improve the team, it sounds like, let's say, because if you go based off what you hear in the exit interviews. Like,
and mind you, we haven't heard Joe speak yet, so we'll see.
That's gonna be very, very, very interesting, because like Herb spoke, but it didn't really matter. I found it interesting that like
he spoke the show.
Like I'm just wondering, like, so they didn't let everybody speak, right? There was no true role players, but Eve spoke. So I'm wondering, like, I wonder what they think of Eves to allow Eves to do an exit interview, but you didn't allow Carlo to do an exit interview, or you didn't allow DeAndre Jordan to a degree has been a very big voice as far as like, you know, the leadership, and a lot of people like reference, like in Queen, he referenced DeAndre. A lot of the guys reference DeAndre Jordan, yet DeAndre Jordan didn't do an exit interview. So it's like Looney didn't do an exit interview. So is it kind of one of those things where it's like players that's not gonna be here? No, go ahead.
Oh man, look, shout out to Squallow. Squallow, that's Don Guillory, not Will Guillory. I was like, Will in the chat. He said that's Don.
Will cutting up in there.
Yeah, I'll say this, man. I think generally you never really know who's gonna speak, especially with the Pelicans, because they don't tend to speak after losses. Like just
they ain't even do these bitches last year.
Yeah, like it's just like, all right, we out of here, right? Mm-hmm. I think it does. So I mean, motherfucker, you getting paid $30+ million to do some of these. I do think it shows some level of accountability, you know, to do your season impressors. And it's, to me, it also shows that there's not a total public fracture with the organization. I'll be interested to see if Giannis does a season impress. He probably will.
That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, because of Giannis. But John Morant not getting the exit presser. They're like, we don't know what he's gonna say.
Listen, the way Ja went out, and you know they blowing it up. There's no way Ja back next season at all. And I am wondering if internally Ja's value is like, because I think
it's worse than ever though.
Exactly.
Even internally,
so at one point during the season, they probably was like, we can't just give Ja away. I think like now they probably like, nah, though. Like somebody come for something, you can have them.
And like, then it's like I got so many picks. I got Ty Jerome playing well, Scottie Pippen Jr. I got Edie still. I got Coward, who was balling this year. I got Gigi. I got talent like around this bitch the way I'm not beholden to Ja Morant right now. And it ain't like, you know, they kind of like with the Pelicans, it ain't like their attendance is great the way you need a superstar to sell tickets. Like a team like that, it would be understandable if they was like, we got to roll the dice to get a quote unquote reliable superstar so we can push it to the next level and get the people in the building. I think Memphis is a great fan base.
Thanks.
Also, I wanted to ask you this. Two things. First, would you trade? Because I think a couple of people brought some great ideas. I know you're a big fan of this person. Would you trade the Milwaukee first, the rights to that swap? And remember, that swap is top 4 protected. So if it lands in the top 4, it goes to the Pelicans, and the Pelicans,
and you keep your pick.
And you keep your own pick if the Pelicans also land in the top 4. But would you trade the rights to that swap for Kel'el Ware? So the Miami Heat, this is why Miami would do it. So the Miami Heat could go and pursue Giannis.
So part of me want to say yes. Part of me want to say yes because one, there's going to be draft reform to a degree.
Yes, facts.
I would like to know what that looks like because the draft reform might make it to where you have more of an opportunity for that pick to be top 4
or less.
Or less. So like depending on what the again, from what I've learned this season and the last off season from all of the people that's been following is that like, bro, the idea of the pick is better,
much more valuable than the pick.
Is more valuable than the actual pick. Like, and the moment, like with all of this shit happening with Giannis right now, you might be able to get more than just Webb with the rights to that pick.
Now see, here's the thing.
You get greedy. I ain't saying you get greedy, but if you time it right.
I think in the event that, like hypothetically speaking, I wish I could cue this trade up, but hypothetically speaking, let's say it was like Ware into your like MLE, right? Let's say you trade for Ware into your MLE, hypothetically, and you traded Herb into their player exception, right?
If I can do Herb for Ware and keep that fucking pick is done.
Hold on. in this scenario, you're not keeping the pick. In this scenario, you still giving that pick to them, but they giving you one of their future first. They giving you a first. Let's say it's 2030.
I'm doing
Giannis, you'll swap first with them,
Facts.
I ain't gonna lie. But let's say this. What if they say we'll give you Ware in this year's first? Because they'll probably be like, what, 14
It's
or something?
probably going to be somewhere in there. I think I do it still.
So Ware in the Milwaukee first for Herb and a future first. And maybe let's say a swap.
I say I do it because I believe Ware from a talent perspective and a potential perspective, David Griffin missed out on an opportunity to draft him when he just was so fucking sold on Eves. But if you take Ware, you just who knows what he continues to develop into?
He can stay what he is.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Bro, I'm looking at the 2024 draft. Kel'el Ware would either go second or first behind Stephen Castle, bro.
Yeah,
like
so
he would. He would be a top 2, top 3 player in that.
The upside and potential and what this team needs, because at that point, like you do that with Zion and with Trey and with with Fizz and Queen, like it just you can like, even if you don't make him an offensive player at all, he's already shown he's willing to shoot it. Like defensively, you would like establish an anchor. Like I do it.
Yo, we got 51 people in the building. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Hit the like button. We had 30 likes. We got 51 people watching. Make sure y'all hit that like button.
Listen, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this about Ware and any player like Ware.
Okay.
I don't know if there's many players like Ware. Maybe Chet, right? Maybe Chet. Like I don't know if Chet is Ware, but Chet is paid. So like, you know what I mean? It's different. But
that's another thing on a rookie scale deal that makes Ware that much more valuable.
Trigger,
but yeah,
you
go
gotta
ahead.
pull a trick. I'm moving almost anything to get that player here.
Okay.
Here. And the one thing New Orleans kind of has is a little different, but historically you do all right with like AD was great. You know, you got some historic like Tyson Chandler was like, you got some success with being able to do stuff with like pull off the big bring Ware here under the Joe Dumars regime. And I would trust his upside and like what they would.
Do you think Ware, shout out to Louisiana Gal, do you think Ware would be a top player in next year's draft, like top 3 in next year's draft? At 19?
Yes. Yes.
I agree. Yes. Like I don't know who in the draft, but I kind of just based on what I have seen and heard, I kind of agree.
I've seen him.
You do that.
I've seen him battle Wemby, toe to toe battle Wemby. You know what I mean? Like from a shot blocking perspective, is there. Like I don't know like the mental side of the game and stuff like that, or why him and Spo got shit going on. So if I like aside from that, like and not knowing that aspect of it, like what. Like does he have work ethic issues or something?
Oh my God, bro. I'm doing that trade. I don't give a fuck if he be fighting roosters in his backyard. I don't give a fuck what he be doing.
What the deal was again?
Bro, like just like to give his numbers before I say the deal. Let's just call it Ware.
You pulling up the
like let's just hypothetically speaking, let's just call it Ware and a future Miami first for the Milwaukee pick and Herb Jones. This is why I do this deal, right? This is why I do it, and I do it. I hang up and I block their number, and get
Herb out the starting lineup and get a first round pick. And
there's so many reasons I would do it. Now that I'm really looking at it, first of all, I get off of Herb's contract, right?
Yeah,
I pick up an excellent center, young center, excellent who's already good on a rookie scale deal.
Yes.
Thirdly, and I get a future first out of it, and I get to keep my pick. Like I swapped it, I give them their shit back. I get to keep my pick. I ensure that Giannis goes to the East. I ain't worried about Miami. Miami getting older. I don't think Giannis and Bam would do shit anyway. Right?
Who cares? You ain't about to win right now anyway.
And I ain't even talking about the numbers yet, though. Look, Kel'el Ware, this year he shot 53% from the field. 30. The thing that stood out. That's why I said absolutely. 39% from behind the arc on three-point attempts.
Yes.
Like, and he shot 74% from the free throw line. 9 rebounds, 1 block, 11 points. Like, if I could just trade Herb for Ware straight up, I would.
Let me ask you this: how many minutes a game he was playing?
He got hold on the minutes. I ain't gonna hold.
Exactly.
He played 22 minutes a game, same as his rookie year. Started 34 games. He started less games than his rookie year. Started 34 games, played 77 total.
If he come here, that's a 30-minute. Like, that's a 30-minute. Like, if he 82 game starting caliber center here. So, like, what he's doing there as a third-year player, getting 30 minutes. Those are the kind of players that you have to find that, like, those are the type of players that, like, change your roster. Like, when, for example, when the big move that OKC made,
they traded
not when they traded PG for SGA. And SGA became whatever. I'm not saying that Ware becomes SGA or nothing like that, but you have to make those kinds of moves that, like, you're not getting this player no other kind of way.
Bro,
like Ja, you're not getting if you did that, though, if you could do that for Ware and do just Dejounte and something for Ja, because Ja, you know how significantly how just already improved the roster is. You now got a center that works with Z and Queen.
Like, to me, it's like, even with the Queen thing, right? Like, in this, to me, can I lump all this together when you talk about value and draft picks?
Yeah.
My idea of Derek is a little lower than some.
Yes.
So I probably wouldn't have traded Derek for a top 10 pick, right?
Yes.
Because the pick projects to be top 10 at this point. But you can still view that if you really high on Derek. You're like, all right, well, I got my pick for next year.
Yep.
Right? Because I didn't have an avenue really to get him without, trading that pick. So I got my pick for next year. Cool, whatever, right? With Ware, if he's available, because we don't know if he's available, but if they really going after Giannis and he is available, Milwaukee's going to want their immediate pick back. So I got to have my 20, 26, 27 pick. I find a way to give me my pick, right? If with Ware trading that pick, for one, you still have your own pick. Potentially, you get a future first. And also, you don't know what the fuck the draft's going to be. Like, and that's the thing, because if it's a James Wiseman draft, no disrespect to James Wiseman, or even a Jahlil Okafor, like type thing, or even a Nerlens Noel, Wiggins, like there's a history. History is full of drafts the way it's like, I had the number 2 pick, but it was like, fuck, like, what can I really do with it? Like, the draft was what the draft was for his talent. Like, and I think if to me, Ware got
fucking the second pick and you get Michael Kidd Gilchrist.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? If it's like that, then it's like, in hindsight, you could say, Dame probably should have been number 1 in that draft. But that's the benefit of hindsight years later. You're not going to have the benefit of hindsight. So you need to make a move and have some foresight. So I hope they really aggressive going after that guy. It makes all the sense in the world for all the teams connected. I had another one for you, though. Shout out to this guy.
The thought of getting Kel'el West stressed me out, though.
Because it seemed like such a slam dunk. Like do it. Like it seemed like it makes all the sense in the world. I can see why it's stressful, because it's like,
they won't do no shit like that. It just
let me ask you this. I don't know, because these dudes, I don't know. But let me ask you this. So let's say I'll ask you something else before I ask you about another player. But what order of events do you think needs to happen this offseason for the Pelicans? Like, not in order, but what events do you think need to happen for us? Coaches, transactions, what have you?
Coach is the priority. Right. I think coach is the priority. And then after the coaching, without knowing what they plan on doing with the roster, it's either you're gonna do nothing or you're gonna do a lot. It's either you do. I think that's gonna be the play. I think either they do nothing or do a lot. But like, for me, coach, and I don't give a fuck who the coach is. If Ja going for cheap, I'm going to get
make it
Ja.
happen.
I'm going to get like Ja. To me, honestly, Ja would be my offseason priority.
Okay.
And that's even with everything I've seen from Fizz. Ja would still be my offseason priority.
Yeah, I say that too because like I love what Fizz is doing, but Fizz is still a rookie point guard. Like if the point is to win, like hypothetically, God forbid, let's say Fizz twists his ankle and he got to miss 4 weeks, then what you gonna do? Like you gotta have talent in the building. There's not enough talent for you to roll the dice with just Fizz at this stage.
Let me throw this at you real quick too, because what a lot of people's like, well, is Ja gonna play with Fizz? And it's like, bro, you see Maxey and VJ right now, like they making it work. You know what I mean?
My thing too is I don't give a fuck if they. For me, like I'm just saying, for me, like I feel like if you. I feel Ja is that talented to me, and I believe, it's Ja Morant. So I don't really care. That's like,
what are we talking about, bro?
Like, you know, for me, I wouldn't care, right?
You because need Ja raises the floor and the ceiling, and if you somehow, though, Ja was like Ant before Ant. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm talking about how the league looked at Ja.
Like, Like,
he was Ja
was a point guard and who talked a lot of shit, could dunk.
Yes.
To me, Ja got more like, oh my God, plays than Zion.
Ja was number 2 in the West. We good in the West. And he battled Steph now. He eliminated the Timberwolves. Like it's certain
Ja, and that's the thing too with like recency bias a bit when it comes to rookies. That's why I'm kind of like he's still a rookie. And speaking of Jeremiah Fizz, for me, I kind of just have my opinion almost locked in, no pun intended, on Derek. So I'm like, I kind of know what I'm dealing with this particular kind of player. Yeah. With Fizz, I'm like, okay, the jumper coming along, et cetera, and got to take into account Ja misses games. Fizz a rookie. Those two, you're talking about the sum of your parts being maximized. Like, well,
yes,
if a motherfucker coming off the bench for Ja Morant is a lot different than coming off the bench for like, you know, for no disrespect to Dejounte, but to Dejounte, to where y'all like you're not significantly better than Ja at this stage coming back from. Well, then Fizz coming back from injury because you're coming back from injury. But also, so what are you doing with Jordan Poole? You bringing Jordan Poole back, or you getting him out of here?
I can't bring him back.
Okay.
I can't bring him back. Simply, so like my priority would be if I gotta get off Poole for Ja, whatever. See, the thing is you could probably acquire Ja without moving Poole, right?
I think you absolutely can.
Yeah. So like if that's the case, that's still a $34 million expiring. I'm not just throwing Poole away per se. One, again, the coaching matters because depending on what coach you bring in, you might be able to salvage something with Poole, but I don't know if he fits what it is you're trying to do. And I think the experience was so bad. I just think it's just kind of like, all right, let's just, you know what I mean? Like, if Poole was to stay, even if they got a new coach, I don't think people are gonna take like gonna give him a fresh opportunity going in the next season, right?
People who are the people in this
media, more media.
You know what?
I'm not saying it matters, but I just think you're gonna get a full offseason of Poole was terrible as a Poole. You know what I mean?
I think the thing Poole has to his advantage, and it isn't much, but I think the thing Poole has to his advantage is that, look, I need to go somewhere that I can play a lot of minutes and I have a chance to really showcase myself because I need another contract. That's first. Yeah. Secondly, I think with it being the Pelicans, everybody would just say, "What's the Pelicans?" Like, you know what I'm saying? Yes. Like everybody has had a down.
You talking about from a trade? You talking about from a trade aspect?
Well, not just that, just from like objective media coverage. Because if you're a person like myself, and honestly, sometimes being objective is kind of whack because you could just go with the crowd and it would be easier versus having to do all this research and shit. But you can look at Jordan Poole's numbers compared to even his first year in Washington and just be like, something went wrong. Yeah, something this year went terribly wrong. And just based on what I know and talking to people, That
I was watching the 501. Is that Jeff Teague's podcast?
I believe so. I think so.
When Fizz and Poole went crazy the other night, they was like,
"Oh
man,
yeah,
Poole got to get out of there." Like that,
he go play some meaningful basketball.
Yeah, play meaningful basketball. Yada yada.
I think Poole is a dude that needs to go somewhere like for us a contender. That like a team that can put like some restrictions on him a little bit that he can play within himself. Because I do think Poole is I do think he's an incredibly talented person. I just think shit was a disaster from the get-go. From what I was told, he was injured this offseason. They kind of hid that from everybody. Joe Dumars included. He was injured this offseason. Then, by game 3, cursing out Willie Green.
Yeah, and then the injury kicked in. And he was like, I'm going to take my time, though. I'm going to take my time then.
I told this to the members. I don't know if you was on this show. I think I text you. After I talked to somebody in the pool camp.
Exclusive.
Yeah, info. Exclusive. From what I spoke to some people in the pool camp, it was like, apparently, allegedly, for entertainment purposes only, Joe Dumars wanted Jordan Poole and Kevon Looney to play, and Borrego was refusing to play those guys. This is what I was told.
To that point, Borrego said in his interview, I appreciate Joe for letting me coach this team however I wanted to coach it.
Now, that also contradicts some of the things you heard earlier this season about them forcing Queen and Fizz into the starting lineup. Because, again, which one is it? Yeah, and the closing lineup. So, again, which one is it? Was this your decision? Did you make a bad decision? Or were you forced to do this? Which one is it? And that also goes in line with him saying, well, we talked about some of the improvements we could have made this season. And I would imagine that would be one of the improvements.
I think Zion spoke to, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was in Zion's interview. They asked Zion about like the games and game plans and stuff like that. And Zion was just because they asked him about like the struggle closing games and stuff, if I'm not mistaken. And it was just like we was just doing something different essentially he was like we were trying different things. Like, and I don't know if it was him or Trey. I gotta go back and look. It was either him or it was Trey who was just like,
that bothers me so much.
Like we were trying different things, so we didn't have like.
That bothers me so much, though.
You know what I mean? So you could tell that they were going into like the end of games being like,
what do we do? What do we do?
What do we? Yeah, like you, bro. There was no real. This is what we running. Let's master this. It was a lot of like, I'm trying to figure it out. Is Joe? I already know how this goes. It's Joe's decision when it goes wrong. But Borrego's decision when it goes right. Absolutely.
So Louisiana girl.
Again, I'm gonna have to go back and double check to see who it was, but I think it was Z. It was just kind of like when they were closing the games, he was just like, he was talking about like why they blew leads and stuff like that. He was just kind of like, we was trying to figure it out. Like we were just trying stuff.
That's a shame, though. That really is a shame. Because imagine going into class and you studying for like a test and your teacher like, I don't know, try this or try that. But that also goes, that say Trey said that. Shout out to D for real.
Okay, I knew it was one of them. I knew it was Trey or Z. I couldn't remember who it was, but they was like, dog,
that is an indictment on the coaching staff once again, because
that's your two best players. That's your two best players, and you blew 21 four-quarter leads. While y'all in here, make sure y'all hit the like button as well. Shout out to everybody in the building. You blew 21 four-quarter leads. And in that starting lineup, you had Zion, who's been here with you for the 3 years you've been here. You had Trader, who's been here with you for the 3 years you've been here. You have Herb Jones, who's been with you for the 3 years you've been here. Herb Messi, this is his second year. Sadiq Bey, he's just got here, but he's pretty much more of a plug-and-play type of guy. Why, again, like, where's the identity? Why is everything, nothing is transitioning? Why does it look different every night? And that's something, I'm glad Trey said that. Shout out to Trey, because that's something I said earlier this season. I was like, what's the identity? They look like they play different every night. So to that point, right? In the Borrego interview, Borrego said that he was just trying to establish certain things this year in the identity portion of it. He basically was like, we didn't get a chance to establish the identity. That's what the offseason is for.
After 70 games, man, this nigga full of shit. Man,
he said he basically was like, the offseason, in the offseason is when you implement things that become the identity and stuff like that. So like moving forward, like we'll establish that.
Let me say this, dog. Let me say this. I'm a very prideful person.
Shout out to you, D for real.
Shout out to D for real. Appreciate you. I'm a very prideful person, and I don't like to beg people for shit. But I'm gonna have to ask Borrego, nigga, please, because you've been here for 3 years. You were here this offseason, cuz. You was here this offseason, my nigga. You was here. You was here this offseason. You didn't just drop out of fucking helicopter. You was here this offseason. You had 70 games, my nigga. 70 of them hoes. By 2026, by 2026, you should have had, I'm gonna stall you out. By All-Star break, I'm gonna just say All-Star break. You should have had some principles that was transferable game to game to game to game to game. The fact that you still doing bullshit, and not to mention you got Dejounte back in 2026, right? You got Dejounte back like around post All-Star break. So now you got 4 starters that was here from last year. And if I have Emisi, that's 5.
Yes.
Man, knock it off. Knock it off, bro. Like this man, stop it. What you gonna do different in the offseason, cuz?
They said
what you gonna do different?
They said, listen, look at me. They said, who was it?
This nigga crazy, dog.
That like Herb, for example, was saying, I think it was Herb. Yeah, I think it was Herb saying that when you get a player like they were finding some rhythm, and then when Dejounte get back, well, he was just talking about like how many like the changes that would happen throughout the season and stuff. And so like when Dejounte came back, it took like a second to incorporate like Dejounte. I don't know what you want me to say.
No, bro. See, I'm glad I didn't watch these. What is you talking about? It ain't like y'all was busting ass. Then Dejounte came back, and then like he threw a whole rhythm off. You know what I'm saying? We was riding the wave. No, y'all wasn't, cousin.
So they were a lot of people were asking him about like that stretch they had through, I think it was January to March, where they were like 15-10. They were 15-10 through that stretch, and everybody was like, "Is this who y'all really are, or is that?" And then everybody was like, "Yeah, I think
they beat like one playoff team, and that was the Raptors."
Z to me, Z and Trey were like the most honest the most honest I think I've ever seen them in a season, right? Like in a season, but like to end the season, you could tell they were like,
"I'm tired of this."
Like, no, we not good. Like, we not good. Like they were like they asked Trey, "Yo, do you think y'all gonna be like? What are y'all gonna be next year?" Right? Once he got his legs back and Borrego was in it. Exactly. No, that was. And then his confidence was gone after a certain point too. Shout out to that pool point. But they asked Trey, like, where do y'all see y'all next year? And he was like, I can't say where we'll be next year because you think, and Dejounte, like most of them said this, like you think that you will say, yeah, we close or we'll be here, but it's like
you never know until you gotta win. Like,
and we thought we would be better this year. And obviously that's not the case though. Trey and Z looked humbled like a motherfucker this year. Like Z looked humbled.
I think this year, bro, really highlighted to me the inefficacy of this coaching staff because at this point, that's the constant. Like some players have come and gone, but what has remained has been this coaching staff and their ineptitude. Because we still complaining about blown leads. I've been complaining about blown leads since the 49 win season. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, they lost a lot of games in the like same issues: 3-point shooting, rebounding, perimeter defense, etc. Now, I think what Herb said was some bullshit, Like, come on, man. Like, let's knock it off. Like,
No,
what these niggas talking about, dog?
This is a funny ass Herb. How you thought he played? He said, "I thought I played okay." Okay. He said, "I could have been better offensively, a little better defensively, but I played. I played with all the effort I could.
All
So that's
right.
all you can do."
All right, man.
He's not
Whatever.
wrong.
Yeah, no, you know what? Whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Shout out to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think Herb should have been starting this season by any stretch. So another person I want to ask you about, another player. What do you think about Karl Anthony Towns? In the event, now very particular things will have to happen here. Giannis would have to say, "I'm only going to the Knicks and I'm only extending with the Knicks." And the Knicks would have to be like, "Bet." So for salary matching purposes, it would probably have to be Karl Anthony Towns going out. That would make the most sense. So if the Pelicans, and again, if you're Milwaukee, I want my 2026 back. I gotta have my pick back, right?
Yeah.
So if the deal was something along the lines of, let's say Dejounte and Herb, and let's just say for salary matching purposes, let's say Jordan Hawkins to Milwaukee, Cat to New Orleans, and maybe like a future first or something, and Giannis to the Knicks, would you do that deal?
How old is Cat?
Cat is, he gotta be like 30, right? Or turning 30.
So my only issue with
Cat got a long ass name.
My only issue with
he's 30. He's turning 31 next year. Well, this year. Hell of a player.
Yes, I don't think I could do it though, because Cat. I don't think Cat, and I asked, like, I was in a different chat and I asked about Cat this season too, like, well, going into next season. And my thought about Karl Anthony Towns is that he is a win now move. He
not transitional.
No, like you, and then if you trade for him, it's gonna be hard for you to trade out of him because he got multiple years left.
But he only got 1 year left.
He just signed an extension, I think.
I think it's this year, and then next year he got that player option for next season and one after that. I think he got that player option for like 60-something million. That motherfucker living good.
Double check that, though. Let me make sure. Because I think I looked that shit up the other day. I think Cat got like 4 for 50. Because remember, he signed an extension with Minnesota.
Yeah, I thought that's what he was on now. Hold on, let me see.
He's done 2 years in.
Yeah, he only got after this year he got 2 years left. Then he's an unrestricted free agent. And the second year,
only 2 seasons left.
Yep, next year, and for 27-28 got a player option. That's the only reason I would do it. I say that because if this math-wise, if Dejounte making 30 plus and Herb making 30 plus, if I put them together, I would rather have Karl for that money. What up with you, Jess?
Yeah,
I would rather have Karl for that money, but that's not enough for me to give up that pick. Probably.
I don't think I'd do it for Karl. Like, as much as I like his game and what we need, I don't think I'd do it for him because I just don't think he fits long. Like, Ware can be your guy.
He can play in both eras.
The next 10, like if you want to go more all in, like with the Zion stuff, he can help them. And beyond that, like, he could be your guy, your anchor with Fears and whoever else is here.
Shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure y'all hit the like button. See, now we're cooking with some motherfucking gas around here. Look, L did me dirty. L threw a cross with the Dejounte thing. I'm like, oh my God. He said what? And then Borrego said what? And then Herb said what? I'm telling you, I can't watch that shit. I can't watch that shit. But so let me ask you this. So what's the least you would take back in a Herb Jones trade? Like,
the least I would take back.
Yeah, somebody say, I got 2 seconds. Would you take that? Or you like, I need to protect it first, cuz.
So listen, on my show earlier, I think the damage to Herb Jones, like, trade value, has been just this season, like, I don't know if it's repairable.
Especially as the new contract looms.
About to kick in, yes. I don't know if it's repairable. So for me, I don't know if you could go into next season with him. Not as just like because
on the team.
I'm serious, though. I'm serious because this how I view it. One, like, so what I did on my show earlier, I did like a positive and negative for the season, right?
Right. Y'all make sure y'all check that out at Pals in the Blender.
Appreciate y'all, though, definitely. So one of the things that I felt like this season brought was clarity. I think it's clear that Herb, while he can be a really good role player, I think he's a bench player. Right? Okay. Herb. I think Herb is a bench player. If you come into this season and try to put Herb as the league continues to improve, I'm like, bro, I think Herb might be regressing. Like,
you think?
Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm dead ass. Like, if he has another year worse than or similar to this year,
this is two bad injury-ridden seasons in a row for Herb. Like, let's go to the numbers,
bro. And the shooting is awful, bro. He shot 29% from three, and then like 32% from the field,
bro. This might be one of the worst. This might be one of the worst individual seasons I've seen from a role player with the Pelicans. Now, of course, you had a motherfucker like because you had Devontae Graham. You had people that just totally underwhelmed you. So Herb Jones, again, he signed an extension this offseason. To me, that was worse than the trade for the pick, in my opinion. But he signed because at least if you believe in Derrick Queen, you can talk yourself into it. But Herb averaged 8 points on 8 attempts this season, shot 38% from the field, shot 30% from the free throw line.
Oh, the free throw, the 3-point line?
3-point line. I'm sorry, 3-point line. He shot 80% from the free throw line on one.
Bro, he shot one free throw a game.
He shot one free throw a game. He averaged 3 rebounds, 1 steal, a half a block, and 1 turnover. So the steal and the turnover. And you know what? He averaged more turnovers because a lot of them shots were turnovers. But the steal and the turnover offset one another. So Herb averaged 8, 3,
and 2 or something like that.
2, 8, 3, and 2 on the season. Boy, look, and see, this is why, son. Like,
but he got the best plus minus. Okay.
Yeah, he got the best plus minus. Team couldn't win without him. This is that's terrible because you was averaging 9, and motherfucker like, well, it can't get no worse than that. It went down.
Yes, it can. Yes, it can.
It went down to 8. So I think, look, I understand the extension because I want to speak on this as well. Because the salary cap is a real thing. And I think people like don't really get it a lot of the times. The Pelicans didn't necessarily have to extend Herb. I think they did it a year early, but Herb going into this offseason would have been an expiring contract.
Yes.
So if you value this player, shout out to Bobby Sniper in the building, my dog game. If you value this player, and even if you want to value him for future trade purposes, you kind of had to extend him. I think the number was too high, personally.
And they threw him a mulligan off of the injured season. I think like you had good seasons. Last year everybody was injured. So they was like, listen, if we getting Herb back and what we thought Herb was going to be, okay. Like, you got something moving forward.
To me, if Herb didn't get injured last season, there's no way he's signing that extension. Austin, what's happening with your homie? Yeah, if Herb didn't get injured, there's no way he would have signed that extension, in my opinion. I think he would have tested free agency and got a bag. I also think, though, if he would have been a free agent this upcoming season, last season, he would have never got that contract. He would have never got. Nah, hell no. I think it
but it was tough to get that money out there.
That's why I'm like, man,
it's a tough market out there.
Bro, Herb probably he might have got, if someone was beckoning for him, he might have got a Dorian Finney-Smith contract.
Bro, Quentin Grimes was out there.
Quentin Grimes got $8 million.
None of them dudes was
none of them dudes really got no money. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think to me, Herb is probably like a top 3 like move you got to make. I think
I agree.
I just think like the contract is aging terribly, and the play just ain't that dog. Can't start, and there's something to be said about Herb starting every game this season.
Yes. So this is what I thought when you talk about like priority moves. If you're not willing to bring Herb off the bench, right? Like I think you either got to upgrade the rotation to where it forces him on the bench, which is I think like a Ware move would do or something like that.
Shout out to Jeff Van Gundy. I'm sorry, Jeff Van Gundy. What job did he interview for recently? It was a couple years ago. He had interviewed for a job.
I know he said he was trying to come back.
Shout out to him.
To come back out there.
Shout out to old Jeff.
But if Herb cannot go to the bench, I think you gotta move him, because if he starts the season again here and look anything like what he had been looking like, I think you trapped, dog. I think you trapped. I think you trapped. I'm using him. I'm using Herb as the additional money for like Ja. Or if I gotta send Herb, if y'all listen, when they trying to get Giannis, if we talking Giannis in Milwaukee and Miami, and listen, man, y'all could take Herb. Like, like I'm as the piece where people could be like, oh man, we got Herb
as a sweetener,
yeah.
Like, and Jeff Van Gundy, shout out to Jeff. He's the defensive coordinator for the Clippers right now. So man, I think I put Herb up there as far as moves you need to make, dog, because again, like everything you've said about the regression, it's 2 years in a row. Now he's played 57 games. There were some rumors about his connection to the Lakers. It makes a lot of sense for the Lakers, and the Lakers are one of the teams that you can trade Herb to get maybe a first and maybe a swap or something like that, and you won't have to take any salary back because they got cap space. But now you wouldn't create space. You would create a trade exception, but you'll get that $20 million off your books for years to come.
I trade Herb and Herb can flourish on a team like LA because they got so many people that's gonna shoot the rock. You ain't got to do shit. Play defensive pass. You know what I mean?
My thing is like, can you like? I feel this way about drafting safeties in the first round. It's like if you the NFL equivalent to a safety, you better be
Ooh, you gotta be prime Earl Thomas.
Yeah, you gotta be like that, because again, Eve Messi had a couple 20. I'm not Eve Messi. Mike Peavy had a couple 20-point games. Whoa, what up with your 504? Like,
Bryce McGowan is here.
Yeah, Bryce McGowan's
could give me 8, 3, and 2 on 29% shooting.
And it's like the biggest knock on her is you not stopping nobody consistently. If you was what up, Chunk? Shout out to everybody in the building. If you was like stopping motherfucker, because you not stopping nobody in NBA no more. You gotta outscore, bro. Like, say, would you trade her for injured Moses Moody? Nah,
I wouldn't do that.
I'd rather just have the cap space, not space. I'd rather have the trade player exception, honestly.
Herb becomes more valuable if you're willing to bring him off your bench. If Herb is like your 7th, 8th guy, like I feel the same way about Sadiq. So it's like just for like full clarity, like I think you found a piece with Sadiq Bey. Like if you use Herb as like a spot starter, that's like somebody hurt out and you could start Herb Jones, it's fine. If somebody's out and you could start Sadiq Bey, it's fine. If you turn Sadiq Bey and Herb Jones into bench players, now your team look a little, you look a little bit.
Look at
her playing 20 to 22 minutes a game or something like that, not 34 minutes, and I gotta depend on you throughout the entire game to like no. So I just if you ain't doing that, you gotta go.
And to me, bro, it's like I'm not paying $20 million for a defense first player on the wing on the perimeter. That's not a center. Like I just wouldn't do it. Like,
shout out to I can't remember who said this in my show. I was like, it's not like he Dylan Brooks. No, Dylan Brooks averaging 22.
Dylan Brooks is a culture changer. Also, he averaging 22. Yes. He can score. He's not a just total liability. There's so many. When you talk about like again, guys having rougher years, like some of these lineups, especially like the Herb exclusive lineups and Point Herb, that's 5-on-4, bro. Like I just don't have to worry about Herb whatsoever. In fact, if I'm the opposing defense, I want to incentivize Herb to shoot as much as possible. Now, another thing I want to ask you. So for me, Derrick Queen's coming off the bench next year, right?
I'm with that. Starting off
you,
the season or whatnot.
Yes, I think if you find the center you're looking for, like let's say you get Kel'el Ware.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know I don't know what incentive I would have to start Derrick, because now I want another shooter on the court. Like I want another perimeter play, and I still need to address point guard. Like it's a bevy of things that needs to happen. What do you think is the most, aside from coaching, which is obvious, what do you think is the most important position to need? And then we'll get to the star questions.
I think it's the center for sure. I think so. I think it's the center because I think it just, assuming you don't do many other roster moves, it's just been so apparent that, like, to refer back to James Borrego and Herb Jones and this shit is crazy. To refer back to them in their pressers, they asked what was the major reason you think you lost, so many games and you had trouble closing games. Borrego and Herb both said, and Borrego went first. So I think Borrego was the lead on this, but he was like, rebounding. I don't think we were able to rebound, and was saying, I know, saying rebounding, and we were, he was basically talking about we need to get more physical, we need to get stronger and stuff like that. But he said the main thing was rebounding. Now, I found that interesting because I can't remember who said this. I think it was Herb was saying, like, because they was asking Herb about like the closing lineups, and he was like, it's one of the, when you figuring out we gonna finish games with the smaller lineup, it's hard to rebound, which leads to the coaching. How dare you say we're losing games because of rebounding? Yet, so I'm saying my answer is a center. What do you think?
I think, I'm trying to be respectful. I think it's like no shit, Sherlock. Like, as it pertains to Borrego, it's like you chose to start Herb Jones at center. You chose to close with Herb Jones. You could have closed with Eve. You could have played Kevon Looney more. You could have played Poole more. You could have done a lot of things. Well, what up, Crispy? You could have done a lot of things that would have helped you in the rebounding department. And allegedly, from what I was told from a good source, you were asked to do that by the executives. Like, yo, you need to play some guys that can shoot and rebound. And you just refused to do it. You made that decision. So it's not always going to be a perfect situation. Sometimes you just need to maximize what you have available. You chose to do that.
Borrego said one of the things that he got better at was being able to make tough calls and tough decisions. He didn't back away from making some tough decisions, and you saw him do that by pulling some starting caliber players out of the line.
So why, and I'm not picking on this person, then why was a guy averaging 8, 2, and 3 starting the entire season? He's played 56 games. He started 56 games. If you're just this motherfucker who's not afraid to make tough decisions and, you're going to go with the people that deserve to play, why was Herb starting the entire season? Firstly. Secondly, Herb, as a lower usage player, right, who's averaging 8 points on 8 shot attempts, you're one of the people that needs to go out there and rebound more. All that second round pick shit, that shit is dead. Now that you got paid, now that you got the money, now that you on your third contract, that's on you. You need to be going get 5, 6 rebounds a game. 2? No, my bad. 3?
3. Listen, Chaz, that is the highest plus minus on this team.
You're right.
It's the highest plus minus. And he only, listen, for those people who to me said, why am I so hard on Herb Jones? He only makes $13 million a year. This is my response to that. Herb Jones making $13 million. Like, it was like, well, why is Herb, like, why are you so hard on Herb? He make $13 million. Zion's the one who make, you know, what does he make? 30 something, almost 40 million. Like, Zion's the one. And it's like, hold the fuck on. Zion's the one getting benched, not closing games. Zion coming off the bench. You telling me a $13 million player?
Herb averaged 28 minutes this season.
Bruh, a $13 million player, dog, has more, like, it's just untouched. Again, remember, they said he was untouchable in trades. Remember what I'm talking about when Joe was talking. This was all live, but you know, he was one of the untouchables.
Yeah.
Pause. And then also he was the one who could not come out of the starting lineup and shit like that. So I'm just saying, when I criticize Herb is because people put the expectation on Herb to be just the most valuable piece on the team. If you're gonna be that valuable, we need more than 8-3-2. That's all I'm saying.
My thing is this, dog. Once you get paid, some of the onus is on you. Jeremiah Fez averaged 3 rebounds this year. Jordan Poole averaged 2 rebounds. Herb, like, again, as a lower usage player who's just supposed to be like a defensive glue type guy who's starting all of these games.
The culture setter.
Yeah, the culture setter, the leader, one of the leaders on the team. Yeah. You just can't have those type of performances 2 years in a row. Because I don't think when Herb was available last year, he played well. It's just like, it just doesn't make any sense, truthfully, especially for him to continue to start all season. But again, certain things not popular to ask or say, because there was no, in this season, 3 things that were done ad nauseum that made no sense were the Sadiq Bey post-ups, the freezing Zion out for minutes at a time, the lack of a 2- and 3-man game between Zion, Trey, and or Poole, the lack of Jordan Poole minutes and Herb Jones starting every game and having the free will to do some of the things he did. Like Herb Jones attacking the rim this year, he was just abysmal. And that's, you know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about the game. I'm not talking about anybody personally because I don't give a fuck about none of that, to be honest. He was just abysmal. Like attacking the rim, it was bad. The 3-point shooting was bad. Everything was just bad, bro. Like between 0 and 3 feet, which would be like a dunk or a layup, if I'm not mistaken, Herb Jones shot 22% this season. If I'm not mistaken, between 3 and 10, I guess it would be more of a, you know, midi type shot or a shorter, a floater potentially. He shot, oh my God, he shot 15%.
But listen, so I don't want, I didn't done the enough of the, you know how, you know.
Like, and again, it's not, to me, it's less about her, and to me, it's more about coaching, because as the coach, you should have recognized what was happening here and made the correction.
They said, Borrego said, Borrego said one of the things that he had to balance this year, because you know it's about balance. He had to balance developing and trying to win, and you know, establishing what they're gonna be, and a lot of those things. So it was just, you know, it was challenging this season. It was challenging.
This nigga is absolutely not a Libra. He like his scale is all fucked up. He is terrible. Like,
you're gonna be mad whenever you get around to watch.
I'm never watching it. I'm not that you told me that. I'm never, like, is there some things it's like you just never watch, or if you watch it, you just never watch it again. That's gonna be one of the things I just never watch. But yo, appreciate everybody in the building, man. Make sure y'all hit the like button. We're gonna move on to some of y'all star questions, man.
Thanks.
Let's start with the homie.
Hold on, wait, before you move. Oh, never mind. No. You it was about Cat. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Let's start with Louisiana Gal. She said, my biggest worry is the coaching search is with the coaching search is Gail. She loves Borrego. I'm like, well, Gail, need to mind your business on this.
Here's my question about that. If it comes down to money, right? If Joe's coach wants, say, $6 million, Borrego says I'll take $4 million.
More.
Hypothetically.
Okay.
I'm just saying, hypothetically.
Right.
If he says, listen, I'll take 4, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, you still gotta, again, what, like 5, like, let's say Jamal Mosley was like, yeah, I'll take this job. It's gonna cost almost $6 million.
It probably cost him about 6. He's making like 7 right now.
Yeah, let's say $6 million. And it comes down to Gail having to write that check.
I think if the number is $6 million, I think you'll have more options. If the number's like 4 and lower, then you're talking about Borrego.
Well, no, I'm just saying, do you think Gail says, I'll write the check for Borrego, but I'm not writing the check for 6 for somebody that's not Borrego?
I think she would.
You think she would? Okay.
Only reason I think she would because, again, we don't know how long. Like, let's presume Willie Green was a lame duck coach and this was his last year on the contract. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Like, but Willie Green was probably making about $5 to $6 million.
You think so?
Between probably like incentive based, but let's say the baseline probably would have been like 4. And then he's a guy who's made the playoffs twice, couple of playoff appearances. So he probably was making like at least 5 between.
He was more successful than people think, man.
Yeah, he probably making at least.
And he was terrible.
He was awful. So he probably making at least between 4 and 6 because Mosley is making 7 right now, supposedly. Okay. So I think if the number is 6, I think you cast a wide net.
Think Gail do it? Okay.
I think she'll up it because of inflation, the league expansion is coming.
What you think is the highest she'd be willing to go for a coach?
I'm gonna say 6.5, 7.
At 7 the cap. Okay.
Okay. And look, and 7 is high. The only reason I'm saying 7 is because I know Stan was getting 5. Okay. Then you paying Willie and Stan at the same time. I think between 6 and 7.
Once all of that shit clear off the book, she might be.
Yeah, once all that's gone and the expansion is coming, and I kept you out the tax again this year.
Yeah.
And once that expansion comes, niggas gonna get broke off. Like all you gotta do, like, look, how about this?
Throw me a ball.
Yeah, once that expansion come, all you got is 1 year before the league expansion come, and then you about to get even more money, and I can help you get a playoff gate. And if the state really is talking about investing money into the arena, because you're not getting a new arena, they just gonna update the arena they got. There's nowhere to put a new arena. No. So if they do that, then they gonna kind of want to win. Like you're gonna have to drive some people here because it's not just a team. From an entertainment standpoint, you got to be better. Shout out to my dog Don Guillory. Don Guillory said Borrego gone, but Dennis trying to keep him. Something about Dennis Lauscher.
The internal people trying to make it happen, bro. I'm telling you.
You know what? And that's the thing too. The nerve, and I'm not going off on a tangent, but the nerve of a motherfucker. I don't like how Joe Dumars was supposed to be hired because of the connection with Mickey Loomis and etc. I don't like that they didn't do a wide coaching search and audit. From my understanding that they didn't, but it's the same thing with Borrego. Like Borrego's somebody's friend. He's a couple people's friend. Yes. And it's the same political hire. It's not a meritocracy. It would be some bullshit. It would be some homeboy shit. So
Borrego in his interview was like, we love New Orleans. Like New Orleans is like he was on the Zion shit. Like New Orleans is home. We feel, you know what I mean? He was really selling this is where we want to be. This is where we. He said when I took that year off, and this is the last thing I know you'll let you continue. Be like when I took that year off, after Charlotte, I had a couple opportunities to go be a top assistant somewhere, and I chose New Orleans.
Yeah, this nigga's lying. This nigga's clearly lying because again, I don't like begging, but nigga, please, you came to New Orleans, from my understanding, because Griff was trying to fire Willie Green. You was trying to fire Willie Green, and you knew this was a position for you waiting in the wings.
If Griff never fired, Borrego's the guy right now.
Yeah, Borrego would have got hired last year if Griff never was fired, in my opinion. Yeah, if Griff had his way. So shout out to J. Cal. J. Cal said, who y'all think the trainees to build around? I think maybe mean the players to build around. I think Fears. For me, I wouldn't necessarily build around Fears. I would just add talent because I do think Fears as a smaller guard is going to have some limitations. Like what is great as Kyrie is, that always has been. you never really built around Kyrie because it's hard to build around small guards.
Kyrie as a one. Think about Kyrie as a one when he was in Cleveland before Brian got there. Never made a playoff, stayed injured.
Yeah,
like it's a tough life out there. And it's not to say that I look at Fears and Queen to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially Fears. Okay, I think you hit on one of your players.
Right.
Let him be one of your pieces. You know what I mean? Like he can be a core. He can be a core piece. You could be like, okay, I'll say this. Even Willie Green was having said, bro, y'all stupid, dog. Y'all stupid. I look at Fears as like I would not keep Dejounte like ahead of Fears. Like if I had to choose between Dejounte and Fears, like I'm going with Fears, right? If it's Ja, like that's why I say you bring in like Ja so he can continue to develop and stuff, and you keep him as one of your pieces to improve moving forward.
Okay.
Similarly with Queen, that's why when you said Queen wouldn't start for me right away, I'm like that's fine too. Like I would look both of those players as until like year 3, you know what I mean? Unless they just took massive leaps, like that's fine. You could be make my second unit amazing.
Do you think and this from the
Dylan Harper coming off the bench?
Do you think not having a draft pick this year hurts the Pelicans coaching expedition?
Yes, to a degree. Because I think a coach wants to know how we improving the roster. Like, because even if you had the pick and you weren't picking a player, it's still something that you could trade. You know what I mean? It's a asset that you could use to improve the roster. I think every coach is going, especially a coach that's not already here, is going to have questions about how you can improve this roster. So, like, from that perspective, not having a pick matters. But any coach that takes this job is going to take it under the, like, already knowing you ain't got the pick. So,
and you don't have a pick today. I don't know what could happen if and if that pick ultimately became Kel'el Ware, like I think we would like, then that ought to bring some excitement. So shout out to Don Gittery, say love Ja. We doing I think we spoke about this for us, because I don't think DQ will be starting next year. I don't know.
But we doing fit. I'm doing. Listen, y'all think it's a game. I would throw Fizz and Giants out there and torture them. You know how fast and annoying that fucking backcourt will be, bro, and how quick imagine Fizz, Z, and Ja. The shoot might be terrible, but we gonna live at the rim and the free throw line. And one thing I know, Fizz can score, Z can score, and Ja can score. Yeah. So like, I'm throwing them out there. I'm gonna make you guard. I'm gonna make you guard.
All right, you got shout out to my dog Trey in the building. Trey say, if you could get that 2026 first, would you draft a shooter or another wing to replace Herb?
I'm not drafting no shooters though.
Yeah, I don't believe in drafting for need. I would try to find that for cheap in the G League or in the NBA, like just free agency. I would draft the best perimeter player. I would just draft the best player available personally.
Man, this team, you could take any fucking thing in.
Yeah, anything like really but a point guard, but like a combo guard. That's another thing too, bro. If the lottery stayed the same, the only thing that was really available at that part in the lottery is gonna be like combo guards. Like, I mean, you can reach for somebody like a mint, but ain't gonna be a ton of people there.
Nah.
Jaden say, what up, Jaden? Say, I'm sorry, you was about to say something?
No, I'm agreeing. I agree with you.
Jaden say, Chaz and Nate Davis. After seeing what Zion said today, I believe that I want this team to be his home for a long time. I believe in Zion and Chaz and Nate Davis. I worried about JB talking like he's going to be here. You spoke about that earlier about, Borrego kind of talking. Maybe he's delusional. No, I don't think, because maybe that's not fair for me to say. I was like, maybe this nigga crazy.
But you know what it is? I think first with JB, I think JB is talking like somebody, like to be honest, like you have to speak that way. You have to It's your opportunity to like promote yourself. You know what I mean?
If you don't talk for yourself, who gonna do it?
Yeah, so you gotta speak like, I know what I'm doing. I know why it was challenging. I know the fixes we have. Like, I believe, like, you gotta. I want to be here.
Bro.
Like everything that he said, I feel like you kind of have to say. And I don't think you want to come in and be like, oh, fuck, I don't know. Like, no.
This is another exclusive. So I'm not gonna say who they said it to or what have you, but one thing I do know that Borrego had said behind the scenes, this was like a couple years ago when he was like initially trying to get the head coaching job. He was like, I mean, do they know my numbers? It was like, nigga, you don't win games. That's what, like, whatever, man. I don't keep harping on, bro.
He was just talking about the numbers. He was talking about that. They was talking about that stretch. He was like, at one point we were, I think, like top 10 in the offense, and we had like a top 15 defense in that stretch, and we were, we're looking really, really good.
You played the Jazz twice, my nigga. You played the Jazz twice.
If that's the case, why couldn't you continue that? Like, nobody was out of the lineup for you to like the Hornets went on when we got good, we stayed good.
Yeah,
we found a system, and like
the Clippers won like what 12 games in a row before they traded James Harden or some shit. They were balling.
Like you absolutely had enough time to where you like if he would have started off slow, right, and then when they had that 5-game win streak, when everybody was like, remove the interim, if he would have continued to just win games or at least be 500 from that point on. Let's just say he 500 from that point on. You probably got a legitimate argument to say you deserve this job, right? Yeah. Because you started out 2-12, you had a slow start, you didn't have no practices, you got your rhythm, your players were getting healthy, and then we at least was 500 the rest of the way. Dog.
Man, this nigga be lying, dog. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm just tired of all these fucking lies, dog. Like, bro, you've been here all this time. You were meeting with players, post practice. Y'all was getting extra time in. Cause again, you ain't just got here. Like, you've been here, cousin. But
Trey Murphy threw him that bone. Trey Murphy was like, I hope. He's like, I don't know what they're gonna do, but he basically just was like, James, since he's been here, has helped me become a better player. So
Trey, no, he hasn't. no, he hasn't, Trey. I dare say this was a very bad year for you. Like, not extremely bad, but it was worse than I think last year. Trey was better than this year. He seemed like he was physically strong. Of course, the shoulder injury played some effect. He
said he had some strength at the beginning of the season, and as the season, he lost a lot of the strength that he had put on. He talking about adding a post game.
I don't think that's necessary. I don't think that's necessary. I'm not saying it in a fucked up way. I think Trey needs to finish through contact a little bit better, rebound in his perimeter defense. Aside from that, his intermediate game, post game, how many opportunities you really gonna have for them to dump the ball to you in the post, and what you gonna do, a turnaround hook? Like, you don't need to do that. Like, you need to take more threes and be a bit more physical and gain some weight. Like, it's too often. What somebody say? What?
Somebody said that earlier. It was like post game, like, motherfucker, go work on your threes. Like, just shoot more threes.
That's why, like, Eve Messi working with Greg Monroe, and shout out to Eve Messi, because Eve Messi worked with, I think he worked with, it wasn't Lethal Shooter, Guard Whisperer. I think he worked with Guard Whisperer.
Yeah.
And I saw some things from Eve Messi offensively, but I did this video earlier this season. I was like, Eve need to run, dunk, and jump. Dunk, and jump. You don't need to be doing nothing else. Run, dunk, and jump. And I think he took some of that advice. Bro. Yeah, live in a weight room. I saw some strides being made. Let's build on that if Eve's gonna stay around. I think this is a good one. Marley G said, well, I'm sorry, I skipped Don. Don said, fam, I hear you, but I don't think humbled is the right word. Zion is unselfish to a fault. Ninjas was looking pissed off, if you ask me. Like, enough of this BS.
I agree with that. I can see that too. Z absolutely had the. So when I say the humble portion, I'm talking about when he was talking about his game, right? Like, I think the pissed off part was like, I think they are like him and Trey had the I'm sick of the losing. Like I'm sick of this.
Yeah, I especially believe Trey feels that way.
Yeah, like they both came to the thing. It just was kind of like yeah, absolutely. Trey definitely do. But they both looked in the interviews like this is like we want to be playing, right? Like stuff like that.
Going into full season.
Yeah, so like they both had the frustration look. So for sure that, but Z, when I mean like the humble, when you watch when they ask, when they ask Z about how they think he did this season, he just was like, okay. I think this is one of the first, because Z went on to say like, okay, I need to go talk to some greats. I'm gonna get with Joe. I'm taking a different approach this offseason. What I think he meant is I'm going to actually try to work on my game. He said I want to be a 3-level scorer. And I ain't gonna lie, I ain't never heard Z say shit that, like that. Because you know what Z normally say? When I'm right, can't nobody stop me. I think this was the first year where he felt healthy.
I was right and got stopped.
Yes. So
to a degree.
That's what I meant by the humble. Yeah. Like, so I think when I meant humble, that's what I mean. Like he was healthy-ish. And
if I had to throw everybody a bone, I don't think Herb would get one. But if I had to throw everybody a bone, I would say Zion's perimeter defense improved this year, especially like in March. I think.
You know what, I don't want to cut you off, but you know what nod I give Z, and I did this on my show too. If you're gonna give people credit for stuff, this was towards the end of the season. Like the health is a really big thing, but not just him playing the games. There was a point where like you used to wonder, is he playing it back to back?
Yeah, the back to back.
Play at all, like minutes, and like towards the end of the season, it was realistic that like you weren't worrying about is he playing.
Yeah, you just presumed he would play.
You just got to the point where you were comfortable playing. If that's something that he has done and could build on, like he deserves, credit for that.
Shot 70% from the free throw line. Finished 60% at the rim this year. For the people saying that he's not the same player, it was like 60% at the rim is pretty impressive. But I also
that's all you could do.
For Trey, I would say he improved his rebounding. Because I want to say something good about Herb. I would just I'll say this, when he did get to the free throw line, it was one time when he got there, he knocked he knocked the free throw down. I'll say that as far as those guys. But shout out to Sadiq Bey, he was just good all season. He was awesome all season. Yes. Marley say, talk about Derek Queen saying he the face of the franchise and what that means for Zion.
I gotta go back and listen again. I do not think he said that. I don't think he said that. Did he say that? I know he was talking about like the mind.
That's funny. He said, how you watch. That was funny. Shout out to Jack.
I don't know if I gotta go back and watch it to see like if he legitimately said that. I know he was talking about having to work on his mindset to being like kill mode all the times, and they asked him like, do you want to be like, who was it? I think they was like, do you want to be a player, or what was that Fierce they was talking about? I gotta go back and like double check to I don't want like misspeak. Yeah. Oh, there you go. It was Jose. I knew it was him. Jose was like, because he was talented and stuff like that. It was like, yo, do you want to be like the guy or one of a guy or the guy or something like that? And he was just basically talking about like his mindset need to be kill mode all the time. That's what it was. Do you want to be a guy or the guy? So he was talking about like, I need to continue to get my mindset ready to stay in kill mode at all times. Don't play with lesser players and stuff like that. Like don't play to
people's level.
Don't play down to the competition, stuff like that. So I didn't think that was him being like I didn't think that was him being like I'm gonna be the face of the franchise. What I think it was is that a lot of people drugged water. Dog, these people stupid, dog. No, I think no, he did not say that. But to his point, like I think when he went to the bench, and Zion referenced this too, because they asked Fears, like who were some of the people that helped you when like you made some leaps in your game. Who were some of the people that helped you? And he named Poole Z, Dejounte, and I think it was somebody else. I couldn't remember who. Obviously DeAndre or something like that. But essentially, he was basically saying like, and Z was like, Queen took it a little different. Queen took it a little different, which everybody said when Queen went to the bench, he sulked a little bit. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't like the energy. You stupid dog. You stupid dog. I'm like, I know, bro. I know. But the word was when Queen went to the bench, he sulked. He sulked, right? And
oh man,
he's saying that he had to get the mindset right. Like they asked him about the 30 and 22 game, the last game of the season, and he was like, "We had people out. Somebody had to do it." Now I was like, "All right, dog. I got you.
Moving on. I'm just gonna move on, though. I like DQ a lot, though. I'm just saying, like, look. Because I don't want to say that, because then it's gonna be like, now we gotta talk about the pick and all that shit again. I'll just say I hope bro continues to excel. Congratulations to him.
He said he want to work on it. He said he working on his physicals all off season. He said that's what he working on, his body, getting his body in better shape, condition, and stuff like that in the mindset. So we'll see what that look like.
But anyway, all right, man. Shout out to bro. Because I remember, because Joe Dumas had a flagrant quote. He was like, "Well, nothing wrong with your legs." He was like, "He's going to be on the bike all." But see, to me, his issue wasn't conditioning. But so that's another. It's just another thing. It's like whatever. I don't want to hop on too much. Shout out to DQ, man. Congratulations on the game he had as well. Because that was a 30 and 20. And that's monumental for that young man. Yeah. Grant say, would like to see the five be Fears, Murphy, Zion, Queen in the center, willing to liquidate whatever else to get a center. It's interesting.
Fears, Murphy, Zion, who? Was it Queen?
Queen, DQ.
Yeah, I mean, I don't listen, bro. I don't mind it, to be honest, if that five is Kel'el Ware. I don't know how much you're winning right now. You still gonna take some time, but like, fuck it. I mean, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. You got Don in the building again. He said, Don, what's your starting five with a Ja trade?
You want to go first?
I say it's gonna be Ja, Zion, Trey. But I gotta make a couple more moves, of course. But Zion, Ja, Trey. I'm still going to try to get Kel'el Ware because I don't anticipate giving up much to get Ja. Yeah, Zion. This is fantasy trade, so Zion. Zion, Trey, Ja, Kel'el Ware, and ideally someone who could stretch the court and rebound at the 4.
You think? Do you think Z is a question? I guess. Do you think Z and Queen can play together, like on the court together?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Your episodes be so funny, though.
Here's the thing, bro. And I think good players can play with anyone. I think Derek needs a lot.
More than just the center. You think more than just the center?
I'm
just saying, like Z.
No, all right.
Because they say Z just need a specific kind of center and shooters.
No, I think this. Look, if Derek was a large body guy who just set screens and could free Zion up and rebound and stuff like that, I think they can play together. I just don't see a lot of advantageous spaces. I don't see a lot of advantages Derek creates. Derek is one of the worst finishers at the rim this season. Derek doesn't defend very well. and he's not a very efficient player. He's a very like last night he had 30 something, but he took like 20 some shots. It was a very inefficient game. I think it ain't about like who Zion can play with in that regard. Because we've seen Zion with Steven Adams, seen it with Jonas, you've seen it with
Zion gonna get to
it. Yeah, Zion's gonna average 20 points almost no matter what. To me, it's less about who Derek can play with, and the question is, can Derek play? Can he play winning basketball efficiently? Because I think Derek is best suited to be a low usage rebounding junkyard putback type guy. Ooh. I don't think you really want Derek driving to the rim doing the Euros and doing all that, because again, like for example, the homie from Minnesota yesterday. What's his name? Is it Seringer? Nigga was balling.
Throwing everything.
No, 6 blocks, like 20 and 12 or something.
That's the same. Listen, if we can't get Ware from a defensive rebound, that's the same dude that we met in that first preseason in the first summer league. The first summer league game, he was throwing everything, bro. Throwing everything.
To me, it's like
that guy.
To me, it's like a thing where just like, again, it's not necessarily an indictment on Derek because he didn't draft himself here, but I just don't see a super high ceiling player. I see somebody who's got to work really hard to score. And again, Seringer was giving them dudes the blues yesterday, dog. Like Seringer, like to me, Seringer, if you didn't watch the game and you just watched the box score, you'd be like, oh, he must have killed Seringer. But if you watch the game,
Behringer, I think.
Is it Behringer? I think it's Behringer. If you watch the game, Behringer dominated. He was dominating on both sides, though. And that's the thing that kind of got me like, I'm not worried about, like, because I think people, and it's not a knock on Derek again. I think people are more inclined to say, well, Derek and Zion can't play together because it's more of a way to say you got to pick somebody, right?
Yes.
But truthfully, the question is, again, can Derek play? Because you might not have to pick nobody if this person is that much better than the other person. So it ain't like it ain't like if you saying, well, I'm picking Derek and I'm gonna build around Derek, because if you got
that boy had 24 points, 13 rebounds, 7 blocks, fucking
incredible efficiency, dog. That's why
from the field.
I guarantee you, the people in Minnesota who saw that game, they was like,
get Rudy out of here.
Well, either that or they probably like, we not tripping.
We good.
Like, we good with our guy. We're not tripping on the 30 and 20. Shout out to you. But this guy here, my nigga, this is what you really need. And this guy is easier. Well, your guy is easier to get than this guy in some instances. But I still think Derek is a quality player. I just don't know if he'll ever get that level of usage, and if that usage really translates to wins, given the inefficiency in defensive issues. But man, shout out to my bad. Hold up, could we answer that one? Jack and Margello say, mind you, Herb is left open for all these shots. That tells you the shot diet is bad, and he's being enabled by the staff to go out there and hurt the offense.
Bro,
Birmingham Herb was the worst thing that ever happened, though, because that just changed everything.
Joe Mazzulla broke the Pelicans' offense.
Oh, when he was like, "Oh, we don't go contest those guys." Who gives a fuck? Like,
fuck if he shoot those. No, those guys. You know, when you look at the data, the numbers, I think you're talking about like him and Larry. Give a fuck if he shoots that.
Go ahead, like,
and Brandon don't shoot. Like it's like Joe Mazzulla broke the Pelicans.
Say Behringer turning out better than Queen would be hilarious when you think about the fact that many wanted Derek, and the reason the Pels traded that for that pick, many then pivoted to Behringer. Behringer been good. Even Andrew Reese's brother. I don't mean to disrespect Andrew Reese's brother. Can someone tell me his first name? Andrew Reese's brother, who also was at Maryland. Julian Reese been balling this year as well.
Bro, Derek Queen center.
Yeah, Derek Queen center. And that goes to show you that DQ is ultimately not a center. but he averaged Derek on the season, played 81 games. Shout out to him. Started 48. Shout out to him again. 47% from the field, 11 points on 9 shots, 26% from 3, but you don't really expect much there.
Second team all rookie.
I think Eve wasn't Eve first team all rookie, second team, one of them. Shout out to him though. I'm not trying to diminish what he did. I'm just like, 3 assists. I can't believe he only averaged 3 assists. That's shocking to me. I thought it looked like it would have been about 5, but 3 assists, 1 steal, no block, less than 1 block, and 2 turnovers.
It's year 1, man.
It's year one. It's year one. It's year one.
Listen, if he look anything like this in year 2,
what would you, if to me the only thing
expectation
to me the only thing that can really change how I feel about what I project Derek to be moving forward, he would have to become an incredible 3-point shooter.
Mm-hmm.
He would have to shoot like 36 to 37% on 4 attempts.
I think he's going to get to the point where he shoots that many, because I think he's confident enough to be like, fuck it, they giving them to me. I gotta take them and I'm gonna hit them.
I don't know if he's gonna hit him.
I don't know if he's gonna hit him. I know he's gonna shoot him. I'll say that. I do believe he's going to shoot them.
Like Herb shoot them bitches. He don't give a fuck.
Yeah. DQ. Who you think got a higher ceiling, DQ or Herb?
I think Herb's ceiling is over now because Herb's already an older player. But I think offensively, because I asked this question before about Dyson and then Derek. Offensively, as right now, today.
Yes, today.
I don't think Derek is significantly better than Dyson offensively. I think he might.
You think he's significantly better than Herb?
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
because I think Dyson is better than Herb offensively. Like now Herb has regressed with the 3-point shoot, and Herb used to have a nice Euro. Herb like this year, Herb just regressed. But Derek, I think like last game, right against Derek. So Derek, he got the ball doing this thing. Derek got like a herky jerky style of play, like Luka almost. But so Derek, man, he get into the rim. As soon as he gets to the rim, even with all the up and unders and all this shit, he either can't finish or a motherfucker just. Are you crazy? Like it's just that's why I think him in the dunker spot is like, all right, let's say Zion collapses the defense, he dumped it to Derek in the dunker spot. Like, do you trust Derek to finish a dunk like consistently?
I don't know, though. It's
just tough.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. He got to do a lot. He said he just got to get his body right so he can continue to be himself.
He got real skinny legs. He
got real small lower body.
Because that play a factor. Because like for example, Tariq Evans looked like a fucking running back. Tariq Evans had huge legs, and he couldn't really jump off there. He could get all the way to the rim, but never could really dunk necessarily because his legs were fucking huge, and he had small hands. With Derek, I'm like, gets his pocket picked in the open court way too much.
I'm giving DQ till year 2.
Of course you got
till year 2. Yeah, when you got no choice, but I'm just saying. Like,
at this point we get into winning.
I'm just saying I'm giving him year 2. He ended the season with 30.
I ain't make these shirts for no reason, bro. I ain't make these shirts.
These shirts ain't gonna sell themselves.
Look, I ain't make these shirts for no reason. Derek, I believe.
Make sure y'all hit the link, man.
Y'all hit the link out the shirts. I'm just like, damn, man. It's just tough because I just feel like a lot of things have to go right for bro to be shout out to my dog Just Real 215. Shout out to him. No, Just Real. Shout out to Just Real. No, Just Real. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying I think in today's NBA, Derek's lack of explosiveness offsets some of those skill sets, because if you're a ball stopper and you can't, like, you don't have an explosive first dribble, or you don't have the upper body strength and physicality to create separation and finish at the rim, it's going to be tough. Especially if you don't couple that with a jumper, because now the league, like Edie, it's a big motherfucker and he got some skill around the rim. Klingon, big motherfucker and he got a little bit of skill. Like Kel'el Ware, lively.
Point, they asked him what was the biggest like thing, that like the biggest, not shock, but like, the biggest thing that you noticed in the league. He was like, people are strong. It's like,
yeah,
motherfuckers are strong. So
I think, yeah, man. To me, I just think awareness again. It was a like the Pelicans switch everything. It was a situation yesterday where Jeremiah Fierce is telling Derek, switch. Like Jeremiah Fierce switches on to Joe Ingles, I believe. He like, switch. And I think it was Behringer. Joe Ingles runs the pick and roll with Behringer, I think. Fierce like, all right, I got Ingles. You go get Barrett, go get him. Behringer goes all the way to the rim, easy slam dunk, and Derek is like, his feet were so slow that even if he knew what to do, I don't think it would have mattered much. So
let me ask you this: do you think DQ's a high IQ player? Because that's what he was promoted as, a high IQ player.
Well,
I think it's hard to judge your rookie season too.
DQ say he might be somewhere between Jahlil Okafor and Al Jefferson. That's an interesting comp as far as that tier of player. Not having quite the post game of either, but just because Jahlil Okafor is a motherfucker, you just don't play that way no more. But if you threw him the ball in the post and said, go to work, he gonna abuse you, but you just don't play that way no more.
Yeah.
High IQ player, I would say, he probably middle of the road right now. He hasn't played under a great coach just yet. I do think he makes a lot of decisions that are somewhat questionable, but I've seen them decisions from vets this season. So it's hard for me to really, really say that.
I'm wondering if because he was touted as like a high IQ player, you know what I mean? Like real basketball sense, stuff like that. If that is something that can help carry him, you know what I mean, to kind of like offset some of those things. Because some people just know how to play the game.
Yeah.
And if you just know how to play the game, you can survive and thrive in a lot of circumstances. So I'm just interested to see.
To me, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I think if you good, a lot of stuff can like who cares? Like with certain shit. Like to your question, I'm like, because people didn't like Tyson Chandler out initially when he was with Chicago. That's why he became a Hornet. But Tyson Chandler, he had an ace in the hole. I'm 7 foot. I can jump out the gym, and I got a crazy wingspan. And he became Defensive Player of the Year. Now, Derek don't necessarily have those advantages, but he has. What would you say his advantages are right now that you could say he does this well and he just needs to add to it? Because I kind of see him more as like a Kyle Anderson type.
I like wait a minute. No, listen, I do like the handling. I liked early in the season when he was playing under with more structure. When he was playing with more structure, I think he looked better.
How do you mean under Willie Green? So do you mean before teams kind of had tape on him?
Well, partially with when Willie was kind of forced to play him a little bit, and his role was. I thought his role was very defined. It was, you know what I mean? I thought he was okay. And then when Borrego got to him and was like, okay, listen, we damn near got to feature him and start him. And they were like actively trying to run the offense through him and go to him. I think you saw him not feel so pressured to do things, if that makes sense. And he was more like letting the game come to him and do some stuff like that. And I think you saw him, and that's when you saw him have like some of his better games.
Do you think he would?
He was high usage and stuff too, though. At the same time,
do you think he's more of like a 6 man?
Right now, yes. Now, yes. For me, I think he wouldn't start for me right now. I think he would be Well, I'll take that back. If I had to start him or Herb, I'm taking him over Herb. And I still need a center. Like I still need a center, but I'm starting DQ over Herb personally.
Well, and look, we get in with this. He said he's gonna be working with DeAndre Jordan this offseason. No, two things. She said, what do you expect him to learn from working with DeAndre Jordan this offseason?
Nothing. Fucking nothing. Just to physically be like, honestly, I think that's more like mindset and to fit, like just to physically be. Listen, we on the boards. We like you got to play hard. I think DeAndre Jordan is gonna be like, for you to be successful, you gotta be
100%.
You gotta be 100% all the time. Like
it's all about motor.
Yes, and I think that's what DeAndre gonna try and do. Like get your body together so you could fucking go out there and play harder than everybody. And I don't know how it's gonna work out, but honestly, if he could be just a relentless player on the boards and stuff like that, I think it'll make a difference for him.
Yeah, definitely. I think you running while everybody walking is the ultimate thing. So you see him more like a Ryan Bowen type, or as he does Jason Smith. He just play hard, and
I think right now you gotta be.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. So he hones his skill. He is just a rookie. All right. So final question: what do you expect to hear from Joe Dumars tomorrow? Hollywood Joe.
Nothing spectacular, like nothing.
You don't think he what? Okay,
so he ain't gonna hit you with the high track tomorrow.
I'm about to say, what do you think he's gonna say that's gonna upset the local media tomorrow?
That they haven't decided on the coach. I don't think he's gonna give any endorsement to Borrego at all.
No, okay.
I don't think he's gonna give any endorsement to Borrego at all. I think he's gonna be like,
his cause to his vest.
Yeah, I think he's like he might be like, he did a good job based on the circumstances, but like, we gonna take this opportunity to like, explore our options. I think he's gonna say that. I think something that might be upsetting, I think he might support Zion.
Okay.
I think he might support Zion, which will probably piss people off. I think he might, kind of credit Zion to staying healthy and playing the games and stuff like that. And he might be like, listen, everybody got to get better.
If he come out tomorrow and he says something like he said in the Fletcher interview, like, we're sticking with Zion. If he says that, I'm like, yo, this nigga let his nuts hang, because that's
I actually wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either. But for him to come out and say that matter of factly, that lets me know they're gonna be uber aggressive this offseason. That was because you're already seeing that he healthy and we not winning because of the usage and need more talent, etc. For whatever reason, he was healthy and we ain't win. No matter what the reason was. I gotta get more talent. But if he come out and say that, I'll be like, wow.
I think regarding Z, he's gonna be like, I don't think he's gonna shit on Z at all. Okay. Like somebody might ask about the Zion extension, and he probably gonna you know what I mean, like push that away for right now. But I think he's gonna endorse Z being here, like Z's our guy.
One thing I
think at the end of the, I'm sorry. I think at the end of the day that Joe and Z more connected than people. When Dumars got the job, and I'm not saying that they wouldn't move Zion. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but
of course, yeah.
I think when they got the job, that like Joe, Troy, and Z were the only three that was like really like in lockstep on what the fuck we was doing moving forward. Nobody else.
I'm very curious to hear what he says about Jordan Poole, Zion, and Borrego. Those three. And the Dejounte thing, I already, it's like, it's only so much he can say. But
I don't think he's gonna address Poole.
You don't think so?
I don't think he's gonna say shit about it.
I think somebody gonna ask.
Somebody gonna ask, and I think he gonna just be like, Joe gonna shoulder shrug that shit off.
He really blow a whole shit up. I don't think he'll say that game. That would be funny though. Like, all right.
Yeah, nah. I think he's gonna give a little bit of, we gotta get better type. Like, I think he's gonna give you we plan to be. We got to get better.
I think what I want him to say is like, look, this year we wasn't good enough. I want him to say that because that kind of is like, all right, that means you can't just roll back the same shit. But it's definitely gonna be interesting. We know what time it is. What's gonna be like at 11?
I don't know. I'm gonna be up early.
I think it's supposed to be in person too. So he's
supposed to be there
because it's only about 6 motherfuckers that cover the Pelicans in person now. So we already kind of know what to expect. But yo, man, shout out to you, bro. Shout out to all the hard work you did this season, bro. We're gonna keep continuing throughout the off season, man. Tell the people where they can find you at, bro.
Man, listen, bro. Y'all can find me at Pels in the Blender on YouTube or Just A Davis on X. And also just a little update, man. I don't know what you got going on now that the season is over. Obviously, everybody.
I'm gonna be doing some postseason stuff too.
That's what I was about to say, bro. I'm gonna be working on some postseason games and stuff like that. Might try and jump in that live space or whatever, covering these play-ins and stuff like that, so we can link up and do some of those. Yeah. I was explaining on mine how like people don't, now that your team is eliminated, people don't understand how much the postseason could like affect.
Change a lot. Like look at Ty Jerome. Ty Jerome supposed to get like 20 million. Bro, he had a bad postseason. It changed everything for him.
No, listen. Let's say the Spurs come out there and get smacked in that first round.
You have De'Aaron Fox questions.
De'Aaron Fox questions. Like, okay, is it time
Harper
for
questions?
Harper questions. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Or it's so many things that like. What happened with Cleveland if they lose early? Is Evan Mobley become available?
If Orlando loses in the play-in, like the only team that probably got no questions is probably like the Celtics. Everybody else got like if shit go awry, it's like, all right, wait a minute. Yes. Like what are we doing here?
And that's OKC loses early.
Miami losing the play-in. We need Giannis.
Now we need Ja. We need a move.
Yeah.
Right. Say the fucking Minnesota played Denver in the first round. Either one of them, whichever one of them lose,
you're gonna have some questions.
You lost in the first round. Like you gotta make.
Yeah. And I don't even know is Ant even healthy. Is Ant back?
Healthy-ish. He back, but like healthy-ish. What happened to go? But no, I'm telling you, like people don't understand how, like, yes, the regular season is over, but postseason play, and you could have been great, like getting to the postseason. Let's say the Raptors get swept.
I think they're gonna lose at like 6. Probably 5.
But you get what I'm saying? Or like would it be
what if Cleveland get beat? Because Cleveland got a lot of choke artists on that team.
No, Jared Allen get hurt again.
I don't even know if he ever came back.
But you get
I get the point. It's a lot of questions.
You got more players available, and the motherfucker might come to the offseason and be like, "We are Herb Jones away." You saw they had to go get Alex Caruso.
I think that's what's gonna happen with the Lakers. I wouldn't be shocked if Golden State was just like,
we ain't even playing stuff.
Yeah, we going home.
Even playing stuff.
Fuck this. But man, make sure y'all hit the like button, man, and share this. And after the video ends, can y'all hit the hype button? Again, I'm gonna be doing some postseason. I'm covering the Celtics series. I'm gonna be doing this Magic game in the play-in as well. We're probably gonna do some live stuff with that. See what happens. I'm trying to get some people on the show, man. Some people who connected to a couple people who y'all fans of. Trying to get motherfuckers to go on the record is always a thing. Cause like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Trying to get people to go on the record. But shout out to everybody in the building, man. Appreciate y'all rocking with us all season. You can find me. You see the thing at Chad CHEDDACHAZ on all platforms. Yeah, man. Like, comment, subscribe, hype the video, become a member if you haven't already. And we'll catch y'all. I guess we're gonna have to talk about what Joe Dumars say at some point. See what he say. Hopefully, Joe give us something crazy to talk about. Like, this is terrible.
Absolutely.
But that's been the day's show, man. I'm out. We out. Peace.